What's happening?
Son of a bitch. What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the guy who put 400 hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps.
No. Let's redo this intro. That is horrendous. You never...
The guys know your secret now. They've seen the Assassin's Creed Odyssey wallpaper behind you all the time. It's not right now.
Thank God for that.
They've seen you in the you know, we did the conversation.
Yeah.
They saw it. They know the truth. You're a true AC fan, especially Odyssey. We know. They know.
Talking of conversations.
Go on.
Conversations Day.
Yes.
Which we just had. It's been actually a really busy week. We had Conversations Day, and then pretty much almost a week to the day later, your birthday.
Yeah.
Both good streams. I'm going to give it to Conversations Day, to be honest.
It was a close call, good golf clap.
Yeah. Well done, runner-up your birthday.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, and I said this on Twitter, the last time you had one of these things, we had the rest of 2020 to contend with. So it's not exactly, I don't think it's the best day of the year.
So are you blaming me for 2020? Because I had a birthday at the beginning of it and I set the precedent with the whole thing. Yeah, I grinded a whole year, guys, a whole year. Yeah. And I'm now level 31. I'm getting well into the peak of a character when you play this giant RPG.
The graphics at least are incredible.
The graphics are fantastic. My armor set is just great. It's fantastic.
I think they put too much into like the whole politics of the game. You get charged taxes and
it's awful, isn't it? It's just terrible. I just can't. They need to rework. They really need to rework.
Definitely. But Conversations, they went really well. I was super happy with it.
Speaking of super, what? Were you planning that?
No,
I just said it, and I was just like, "What? Please tell me you're planning that."
Well, this podcast is a True Gamer Podcast, brought to you by incredible patrons over on patreon.com/conversations.
People are going to think we're professionals almost.
Right, how did you work that in? That was pretty good. I didn't see that coming, by the way. I was like in the middle of a sentence. You're like talking to super.
I know. I said I shouldn't have said it, but I was like, "Is he setting this up?"
No.
Yeah. So speaking of super bros, our bros, Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock. Going from a great segue to saying that is just
awful.
Carol Tavrivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron. Record Friction, Dan the Man. Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. Martin Scorsese's Master, HBartz 12. The Midget Olo from Smallville, Sabine. The former freeloader, Christian.
Nice.
The guy's not freeloading, but we can't take the piss out of him.
Oh, we can. I'll find a way to work it in there. Don't you worry, Christian. You're still getting...
Don't think you're getting
I'm just going to pile the shit on.
I think that this is the point now. He's literally here to hear the shit talking about him.
Now he's paying to be shit on.
Now he's paying for it. We thank you so much.
Yeah, we love you.
Master Chief himself, Albiscori, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, the Gamer of Gaming Shire, Dave Bindis, and the Assassino, Ezio Al Felipe. Thank you, bros, so much for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming going here at Conversations. That list is getting big, boy.
That list is getting big, and I think a big portion of that is Conversations Day. It went really well.
So goddamn well.
It went really well.
I still can't get over the level of support we have from our bros and how it's grown so much. Who would have thought that two dickheads like us would have been able to get fooled that many people into helping us?
Yeah, tricked. The first Conversations Day, I was... Not to be like I'm not super negative. I'm a bit more pessimistic, and you're a bit more optimistic. Mm-hmm. First Conversations Day, I was like, look, we're launching Patreon. Let's aim for 5 guys at $1.
Yeah,
and we'll just hopefully if we get anything above that's gravy. Almost immediately, 15 guys.
Yeah,
or 10 or 15, something like that.
Yeah,
many of who well above the $1. This time around, I was like, we've put in a lot of work, but we just had the Voldemort of all years, the name, we don't say its name.
Don't mention his name.
And Christmas and all that stuff. And there's no new aspect to it. Like, it's Conversations Day. People have an idea of what to expect. So it might not be so big. So let's not worry if it doesn't do too well.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it.
It was great.
Absolutely
it was fantastic.
And
the gaming we did as well was just so fucking cool.
Dude, that stream, normally... for a regular stream, like 3 hours, it's pretty much something about Conversations Day. At no point do you, at least I didn't get drained.
No.
Like it feels like everything we do just bounces energy up, and then someone joins. Someone has to go. Fine, someone else comes in. Oh, hey, then you start all over again.
Yeah.
I really love Conversations. It's such a good, fun thing to do.
I'm already looking forward to next year's one, but it's so far away.
It is so far away.
Damn.
And I'm just thinking of all the time I'm going to have to frickin' spend with you to get there.
Mother trucker. Speaking of spending time together with people that we love, but not each other, but NPCs, not a good segue, but it works.
Definitely. Not a good segue, and I would argue it doesn't work. But please continue.
I was going to say, what have you been playing, good sir? What have you been doing? What have you been up to in terms of gaming? Because this is the True Gamer podcast, right?
So, what have I been playing? After Conversations Day, and my absolute flop on Apex, because I think one of the last things we played was Apex Legends.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, I'm not this bad at gaming. And then, after we ended the stream, we actually, you were bathing Isla. I had to stick around for something. Yes. And I did another game, and I was like, okay, this is actually better than I expect to be. And I carried the team for like 9 kills. We were like, they didn't get a win, but we were like the last team. And I ended up basically having to solo them or something. It was...
I love how that went, by the way, because it was like on stream, we both look like we're just pansies that just grabbed the controller for the first time, and we're like, X button. We look like idiots. And then afterwards, you literally just sit in the exact same spot, play Apex another time, and you're like, sweet, 9 kills. I'm the last man standing. And I was like, oh man, I got the second place, but this was like the best game you've ever played.
What's more frustrating is because we get all the shit, and I love the savagery. Like, I respect it, right? But
totally.
Neither of us are bad players.
No.
Right? Like, talking of multiplayer stuff, because we're on Apex, you're like a 1.25, 1.5 KD player.
Something like
That's way above average.
Yeah.
I think around now I'm probably like a 1.5, but I used to be a 2 KD player. That's quite a bit above average. Not that I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying
you're trying to say you're better than me. You're a KDist.
I'm a KDist, 100%. But also, we're both sort of support players.
Yes.
So like, we go for objectives, but you are wired more towards support, and I'm wired more towards slaying.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but it's enough to make like that little bit of difference in KD.
Right.
The fact is, the guy that carries the team, that captures all the points, might have a negative KD, but he won the game.
Yeah, the game won because of that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly, and that's just the thing. Except for when we get on stream.
Something just turns off. It's just like, you know when you have streamer mode enabled in like Discord?
It's a brain thing, just like, KD inverted. You know, like...
You are the inverted gamer. Maybe that makes sense now.
But it feels like whenever I'm on stream, I invert both the axes and all my button layouts change. I get to bumper jumper and all sorts. Yeah. It's frustrating. I have a question for you, because you asked, what I've been playing. I have jammed a few games of Apex at home.
Okay.
Not doing 9 kills regularly. Haven't won a freaking game, but I am back to like what I assumed I would be. I seem to get like 2 or 3 kills at least before my team gets wiped. So I'm okay with that. My chick started playing Fall Guys. Haven't seen it on the stream. She's loving it. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful, but she's loving it.
That's that game where you're awful and it's fun. That's
yeah. It is fun. She's been really loving it. But my question is this. Have you played much Cyberpunk? Because I took it out to put I think Ghost Legends in a while ago. And look, if this was like The Witcher or God of War or Doom Eternal, Ghost Legends, any of those games, that disc would have stayed in there and I would have played it all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
Despite some of the in-game bugs that we've been having, like I do have a main mission bug at the minute where I need to wait 24 hours or something for Takamura to call me.
Yeah,
and he hasn't.
Like that.
So I need to, but I don't know if that's fixed. I've waited more than that, and he hasn't called. So I might call him when I put the disc in. But I just never found the urge to stand up and put the disc back in, despite loving the game. Like I forget V. I'm in love with Pan Am.
Judy,
right?
There you go.
And I did have I have had a lot of fun. What I've played, I've enjoyed, despite the bugs. In fact, I think the worst thing about Cyberpunk is CDPR, not Cyberpunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what are you playing? Have you played any Cyberpunk?
I haven't. It's a really strange one. Obviously, there was the break I had before because obviously getting ready for Combros Day, there was a lot of work I had to put in. I made it known how stressed I was from that, and I was only doing that.
Were you stressed about some dumb shit as well? Because I know what.
I get hooked on certain
You
things
do, yeah.
sometimes, and I'm like, I just can't get.
Also,
but
the worst thing is
there was a lot of time I had to put into it as well.
this bugs me. We'll get back to gaming, I swear. What bugs me the most is you'll get hooked on some things and start stressing out, and you know that's a job for the two of us. Like branding stuff, we came up. If you missed Conversations Day, there were a few announcements. We got a new merch store. I think Ed's wearing for the month of January through to February, you can get the True Gamer official True Gamer t-shirt with your gamer tag on the back for Super Bros. Yeah, I'm going to do the suit. But so things like that's a reworked version of the True Gamer t-shirt with the controller. All of that stuff, that's all on you. I don't do that stuff. I don't have that skill set. But things like branding for our new show Streamcast, which we can announce a bit more. We got a couple of things coming in February, which is where we scheduled that because we just did Conversations Day. That is not something that you stress about. That is something that you go to me and say, bruv, what do we want to call this new show? And we work it out. Because what happened when you did that?
Yeah, immediately we worked it out. I was
5
stressing
minutes.
out for like so much before it. I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I feel like a failure to myself when I can't do it. And also if I come to you without an idea, I feel like I'm entering negative stuff into the... I'm detracting as soon as I walk into the room. And when really all it should be is two bros were just like, shit, we figured it out together.
It took...
And we did it.
I said 5 minutes. I think it was within 5 messages from, we've got the new show.
What should we call it?
What do you want to call it?
Back and forth.
I think within 5 messages we did it.
Yeah.
That, you shouldn't... that is all on you. You deserve that stress because that is a thing that we do together. And especially it's branding.
Which
it's
we're
the
so great
one
at
thing we're actually good at.
Yeah.
The one thing we can do.
Not podcasting, so you guys know. But
of course,
the branding is what we nailed the branding for the show,
That's
but
right.
the content is just awful.
Talking of podcasts, the True Gamer podcast.
Yes.
Actually, wait, what are you playing? Fuck these guys.
This is what happens to Sheps. He comes up with something, then he goes two steps away from it, and then another 2 steps, and then he's like, what was I even doing in the beginning?
Forget those mugs. What are you playing?
No, so the question you asked about Cyberpunk.
Yes.
No. This is hilarious to me. I love it.
Definitely.
I'm never going to get over it. Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I haven't put it back in since so I had that break where I was getting ready for Combros Day.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Exactly.
And this is what it's like doing a main mission for me.
Exactly. This is where it all stems from. Oh God, this is going to kill me.
Yeah.
I did all that work for Combros Day. And then when we had Conversations Day, we had fun. And then I started playing
great.
those minor games that we played on stream, like the Fall Guys and Apex and stuff like that. And I played a bit of that in my own free time because I didn't have too much time because I knew we were going to have the Patreon exclusive t-shirts. I had to get that ready for other people and whatnot, which a bunch of people
Dude,
have.
like 15 people bought merch in general. I think like 11 of them included one of those t-shirts.
Crazy stuff. And also I was like, the next True Gamer podcast, we're probably going to have a lot of new subs. We're going to have a lot of new Patreon people. Let's make it a banger. So I've made it. Hopefully this episode is a banger. So
of what?
All that sort of stuff of content and whatnot. Like
what episode? This episode of what?
This episode.
Oh, this episode.
The True Game podcast,
exactly.
Right. And I was like, let me get all that ready and then get in the Conversations podcast out to patrons.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't have too much time, but prior to this, I was deep into Cyberpunk, and I've just not felt the urge to go back to it right now, and that kind of upsets me.
It's weird. Like I said, the games I listed were things like The Witcher and God of War. Imagine someone trying to stop you playing God of War.
Oh, just like a dog trying to guard its food. Just like, get away, leave my disc.
Right, like we can be torn away from those games. Even games that like were great, like Doom Eternal, great game, ton of fun.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was like sorry, Cohen. I wouldn't say it was the best game of the year. But it was definitely a brilliant game.
Yeah.
You couldn't have torn me away from that.
Yeah. I didn't take that out until I platinumed it. I was like, this is in there.
It's a freaking brilliant game.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. And I haven't felt the urge to stand back up. Because the disc is next to the PlayStation. It's not hard to get to.
It's just it's so sad. I was going to say it's so out of order, a bit like when we were kids. It was so bad because the hype that we had going into it, everything was great, and the game is great.
Well, let's say you and I have really been enjoying it.
Yeah,
playing on PS5.
We've been having decent. There's been bugs. There's been glitches and crashes and stuff like that.
A few frustrating things for me where, like, the one time I actually do the main mission, Takamura won't freaking call me.
Yeah, bloody bastard.
Yeah.
And I've had some issues, not anything that stopped me from playing the game, but the CDPR side of it, literally the PR side of it, the stuff that we don't really care about, is the stuff that's detracting away from it. It soured the launch of this game, and we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk
and the game itself.
The crap they've been doing as well recently. There's a shitstorm going on.
But what's weird is when The Witcher 3 came out, which is both of our first Witcher experiences, like we hadn't read any of the books, any of that, hadn't played any of the other games. That game, well, that's the game that got us to be like CDPR fanboys.
Yeah.
Pretty much we were like, they can do no wrong. They'd have to really try to frick it up. And they tried hard. But that game, yeah, The Witcher had bugs. Definitely had bugs.
Yeah.
But I never felt, I don't know, like disappointed by it.
Yeah.
Or disappointed by CDPR.
It was, those bugs were like the byproduct of having such a big and ambitious world.
Yeah.
Which we were willing to accept as well when Cyberpunk came out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But this is like far and beyond that. This is like, we didn't try to make the game work almost. It's
one of the weird things about Cyberpunk as well is, like, don't get me wrong, the best game for a living atmosphere is Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. It smashes The Witcher for that. But The Witcher 3, something about those worlds, like the countries you're in, like Redania and all that shit. Is it Redania? Well, you know, you got Velen and you're in different places.
Yeah.
The world feels alive. It does. It's really good. And so does all the side content. And it's natural how you progress to it, you know? And Cyberpunk is lacking that in a way that I can't exactly put my finger on it. Like, look, there aren't enough NPCs just out and in the world.
Yeah.
Whenever you're somewhere like that you're supposed to be, there are NPCs and they're good.
Yeah.
One thing that bugs me though in The Witcher, the NPC model for children is children, and this one is just small people.
I was going to say they're midgets. I'm telling you, and we have enough of that in our Discord server.
Yeah, we do. The best Discord server in the world. Yeah. But seriously, if you're new and you decide to join, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so sorry.
But on principle, I won't. I could remove those commands. I won't do it. And someone made the point. I forget who, because it was a while ago. They were like, "Look, at the end of the day, it weeds out the weak."
Shit,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I respect the savagery. And I think you and me, in fairness, catch the worst of it.
Yeah.
On our own Discord. But I respect it. So yeah, that's something that a lot of little things bug me about the game. Not enough to stop me playing it when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
But there's no hook.
Yeah.
Like with all those other games, like God of War, let's say I had to take the game out to watch a movie with my chick. Mm-hmm. I felt compelled to get the disc back in as fast as possible and continue playing.
Yeah.
Like, I felt not just an urge, I felt like being pushed, like I needed to do it.
Yeah.
And while I'm really enjoying Cyberpunk, and there are some, they hit some home runs with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think characters like Panam and Judy, incredible. I'm just hearing Isla complain. You probably can't hear it now because the mic's so directional.
The mics are so good, but
even her cries are quite cute.
They are adorable.
I don't know. I want to love Cyberpunk so much. I really do.
We'll get talking a little bit more about Cyberpunk soon because we've got a topic about them, a quite meaty one at that. So we'll get into that. But
before that, this podcast in particular is brought to those guys that were cut out before and you didn't hear that bit. The True Gamers over on patreon.com/conversations that subscribe at the $5. Are we giving it to just the $5 guys or everybody $5 and above?
It is the $5 and above.
$5 and above.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys made this happen.
They did. They wanted a gaming podcast and they threw money at our faces.
Yeah. They were like, "You dance monkey. You're a little slut."
Tears coming down.
Oh, I guess I'll pick it up though.
Those people are Jeremy Horde, Record Friction, Diogo, Adam Sunling, Isak Manny, Dan, Catsper Coral. He took away the question mark, so it's no longer Catsper Coral.
Oh, no.
He's ruined his name.
Kick him off the Patreon.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, refund. Real Cinema, Sab2557, Doc Nutella, Super Whale Ben, Albiscori, Poppy, De Scoopy, Scoop Diddy, Whoop Whoop, De Scoop, De Whoop Poop.
How did you nail that the first time?
I don't know how I nailed that there. Hooded Dude, Benedict Clobbers masturbates furiously to Max H. It's actually someone put masturbates furiously in between those two names. Whoever that is, you're a legend. Fishy, Zahir, Christian 0210, and Cobra SS. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Combroplations, guys.
That's right. Talking of Combroplations,
yes.
Before we get into it, smaller channel. It's a newer channel. we're not even a year into it yet, are we?
Yeah, we're like something like
8 months or something.
8-9 months, something like that.
This channel is younger than it took to cook Isla.
Yes, it is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
She's not even a fully fledged baby yet. Closing in on the 1,000 sub thing.
Coming in on it, guys.
Which I feel like because the main channel has like 6.5 or 7K subs.
Yeah.
This shouldn't feel so good.
It's because this was grown from nothing.
Yeah.
It was a redemption story. It was
Right.
rise from the ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah.
We're
And
like,
I swear to God.
you can't bring us down.
I swear to God, if you get this one blacklisted.
Well, I promise not to talk about certain
Don't say it.
with certain organs
That's
placed in them.
That's all saved for the Conversations podcast,
Yes.
which all of you guys on Patreon at any tier, $1 and above, you get access to the new.
Speaking of that, yeah. So this is the True Gamer podcast, guys. Every week we bring you this gaming podcast every Saturday for all of you guys watching on YouTube and free services. Every day on youtube.com/comboplations. You guys can check that out.
On full backlogs there's like 30 episodes or something.
Exactly. Yeah. We're on like episode 29, 30, something like that right
Whatever,
now.
man. Forget the specifics. No one's counting.
We're also on podcast services around the world.
That's
if you
right.
guys want to go check us out there. If you guys can, if you're on podcast services like Apple Podcasts and whatnot, hit that 5-star review, write something down there, something nice. It really helps us out and gets the channel going. Cool.
Like on YouTube, all that, the stuff. You know the drill.
All that kind of stuff. Even if you don't listen and you're over here on YouTube, hit the like button.
We appreciate
Get down in that comment section as well and get talking with all the other bros. They're really cool people down there. You got Diogo, you got D.
Whoa. I thought you said cool bros. You just
Ben.
named some of the...
Well, two out of three of them are good.
Yeah.
I'll let them decide which one's
Yeah.
which.
Okay.
Those guys in there.
Just throw one knife in the middle and
Exactly. Fight. It's like the scene from Dark Knight. It was like, we'll throw a pool cue in there. Whoa.
We've only got one opening.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. And also, if you're a fan of what we do, if you're really a fan, you want to support us even more than you guys already do over on YouTube and stuff like that, you guys can head over to patreon.com/conversations, where you can get stuff, exclusive stuff like the Conversations podcast for as little as $1 a month over there. And you can get early access to this podcast at $5 and all other kind of levels. You can go check that out over there. And for the month of January and February, we've got a massive fund going to fund the future of Conversations to help get awesome equipment like these mics that making it sound amazing. A second camera, because Sheps' camera right now kind of looks like a potato, but we're having to make do until we can buy better equipment and stuff like that. That will also maybe one day come and help you out with streaming. Perhaps,
fingers crossed.
Like we're trying to work something out, guys. We'll see what happens there. But if you guys don't do that, it's completely optional. You guys don't have to. We love you no matter what. Speak on YouTube, comment, all the free stuff that you guys can do to help us out. It means the world to us. Thank you so much.
In fact, it kind of seems inverted. Like the more, just like me, the higher up the Patreon tiers you go, the more you're like the gender step child.
We give them more shit. We're like, you guys, you mofos that give us money, frick you.
Yeah. It's so what? You're only paying for this.
Exactly.
It's like that. What was that weird sex stuff? The being belittled and stuff like from Wolf of Wall Street.
What's it like? The financial domination,
whatever it is. Yeah, it's like
that kind of stuff like that. It's like you're big, you've got a high stature. You're nothing. You're nothing. You are.
One final thing, because we pimped the Patreon enough.
Yeah,
I'm just on it looking. 34 patrons.
Yes,
that number's going up. I freaking find it incredible. It's so cool. Also, for some reason, I'm logged in as you, which is weird. Is it you or is it as us?
I think it's our group account.
I
think it's our Conversations account.
Is it?
What name does it say at the top? I think I might have written something funny.
Imagine dying in Demon Souls. Something. Yeah, okay. So this is the Conversations one.
It is, I put that as a joke for James.
Cool.
Yeah. But we do have a goal as well to hopefully, and I have a feeling we could do this. I think we've got the chops for this.
Okay.
I said it on Conversations Day that we'll hit 100 patrons by the end of this year. I think we've got the stamina, and I think we've got the product. I hope you guys agree with that too, that we can get to 100 patrons by the end of the year.
I just think you're banking on our talent. Do you know what I mean? And like, look, this isn't investment advice, but like, I maybe wouldn't go that way.
This is really reassuring the people that are in it. Not confident about.
Hey man, I mean, we can get to the 100. You just need to let me go full suit on it. we'll get the 100 patrons, but they will be very unhappy with what they're
wring
paying
them
for.
dry, like, hey guys, but they're only our
We'll
patrons.
just put targeted ads to anyone that likes Ubisoft games because they obviously are okay with the abuse.
They're obviously okay with being raped and whatnot. Anyway, guys, yes, let's get into the True Gamer podcast.
Yeah, it's
We've
only
got
like
a few
half an hour in. It's fine. It's fine.
nothing.
Frick 'em,
Who cares
frick 'em.
when we
It's
run
only
through
their spare time.
Exactly. We've got a good few number of topics. We're going to be talking about how EA has no longer got the Star Wars license anymore.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be Indiana Jones game coming soon. The CDPR apology and some other possible
apology.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Heavy
air quotes.
heavy air quotes right there. And possibly the existence of another Sony Santa Monica game in the works. Yeah.
No, wait. How can they? Well, hold on, that's going to be the first topic. How the frick can they do that if God of War isn't even out yet? Because there's got to be DLC most likely at some point. You would think.
Well, there wasn't DLC for God of War 1,
which means the game has to come out ready. Do you know what I mean? Right. So those are the two options, and it's supposed to be coming out this year. It's never coming out this year, but they're saying that it is. So how can they have even regardless if it comes out this year or next year? They're going full tilt. There's no way there's a second title. Tell me, who's this freaking source?
This ties into one of the other topics. I hate to cut you off because you get all
bullshit.
passionate and whatnot. We're going to go, first of all, with the EA topic, losing the, now being, the Star Wars license being relinquished from their grips.
Okay.
So that's our first topic.
Right.
EA no longer have the exclusivity deal. It was a 10-year deal from 2013 to 2023.
Okay.
So we won't see another Star Wars game until 2023.
Right.
But that doesn't stop other companies from making games until then.
Right, and then they can just release them then. Yeah.
Exactly, right there. We know that now because we got an announcement from
I saw this.
Ubisoft.
I saw this.
Ubisoft announcing that Lucus Film Games, they've started a new division, Lucus Film Games.
I thought Lucus Film Games did the original.
I think Lucas Arts
yes
was the company.
that's
but
right.
they made Lucas Film
It did
Games.
come out under LucasArts. That's right.
Exactly. And now what they're doing is they're licensing it out to each one of the development companies. A bit of the way that Marvel Studios does it with like Spider-Man, Lego superheroes and stuff that, which I thought was the way it should have been done.
Yeah.
Not here you go, EA, frick with the license and do whatever the hell you like. Right? Now, two things to unpack there. One, Ubisoft are now making a open world, probably RPG.
They're going to Valhalla it.
They are going to Valhalla it. I'm almost confident in that.
I will say this though, that Star Wars, and it's been proven on its own, isn't enough if you don't deliver.
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order, forgetting that I had every bug plus a lot that you didn't even know were there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was that great. It was good. It was fun. I had no investment in Cal Kestis or any of those guys.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, if it wasn't for space wizards with laser swords, that would have not been a thing.
Yeah.
But it was enough.
It was enough.
Laser swords and space wizards were enough to keep me interested.
And it was implemented well.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. But I don't know. The fans are fairly unhappy in general with the most recent, the sequel trilogy, for a lot of good points and for some that are just bullshit.
Yeah.
There are some things that people are angry about that aren't a big deal. So I just I just want to say this.
Yeah.
Forgetting Ubisoft and the fact that didn't they win our Conversations Award for the biggest, just Ubisoft was the biggest
the worst mistake of 2020.
Forgetting that, because Ubisoft have previously, maybe 10 years ago, made good games.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars game I want is Amy Hennig's.
That's it.
That's the one I want.
Now that we have EA's now relinquished the grip on the Star Wars license, Amy Hennig is now free. She's a free agent to be picked up by somebody because she obviously didn't want to work with EA anymore because of whatever happened and they had a disagreement and everything was bad. But now she's a free agent. She can be picked up by literally any studio.
She's who I want.
And then that studio can go to Lucus Film Games and go, guys, we've got Amy Hennig. Everyone's been talking about her. And she's got this amazing idea. And she created all of this other stuff over here. Guys, we could do this. And why not? I don't see why this shouldn't happen.
That's the go-to move for sure. She's my number one pick for this thing.
regards to the Ubisoft thing, Sean writes into our Discord server, just like you guys can by clicking the link in the description.
I feel like we've pimped enough stuff. Stop pimping.
He goes, I can't wait for the epic RPG Star Wars game from Ubisoft. With repetitive gameplay, boring open world, and microtransactions. I can't wait to pay £10 for a purple lightsaber and £5 for Force Push each time I need it. Honestly, it's probably going to be my game of the year. And he's like, EA signed a exclusivity deal for Disney for 10 years, so we won't get any games from any other studios until 2023. So yeah, that's basically how everybody feels about Ubisoft getting this license, or getting a part of this license anyway.
I want to say EA are as big a suit when it comes to like microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah.
They built Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
That was the initial model. They were told, no, get star fricked.
Yeah.
Right? It's not happening.
The gamers did not allow it.
Yeah, it's not happening. And they had to super rework Battlefront 2. There were all those issues. And then what we ended up with was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
And I will say what they built, what we did end up with, forgetting like the frickery of them trying to literally rape your wallet.
Yeah.
They did make a very true... I mean, I love Battlefront 2. It's such a good game.
That was what we said at the beginning. It's so authentic to Star Wars.
It was just
and
managed
Star Wars
tragically
fans,
by
Suits.
Suits.
Yeah, exactly.
But like...
It always seems to be the problem
But
anyway.
it's so good.
Yeah.
For exactly... it's exactly what we were told, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what we wanted, I should say.
That's more it, yeah. So how do you feel about Ubisoft getting this?
Well, so this is the thing. Like, EA had to drop the microtransaction stuff. And for this kind of game... It's the only microtransactions that work are the Fortnite style. So I hope they go for that, and there's no pay to win, because the gamers will really not. We're not okay with pay to win.
Well, see,
unless it's mobile gaming.
Yeah, I think they won't go as bad. I think everyone has now learned the lesson that they're not going to do the Star Wars Battlefront.
Suits don't learn.
No. They don't learn, but they've learned the lesson that they can't go to the degree that EA did at the beginning with Battlefront. Ubisoft, even in their last game, in Valhalla, they withheld microtransactions until a month after the game came out, and then dropped all of their microtransactions, all the XP boosts and stuff like that, because they didn't want it to be in the reviews so they can make as much in the initial sales as possible. And they also nerfed you or made the characters level with you to make it more difficult, so you to incentivize you to buy stuff, right? This is the kind of company that they are.
Yes.
So
it's very underhanded.
Exactly. I don't think they're gonna not do this for Star Wars, especially because it probably cost them an arm and a leg to get the license to do the game anyway. But I have a little bit of hope, because it's Massive Entertainment that's actually developing it, and those are the guys that made Division 1 and Division 2.
Yeah.
And that wasn't riddled with microtransactions.
It wasn't, but they both had issues.
They had issues, and that was to do with like end game stuff. And if this is going to be an MMO, then it's possible it could have those issues as well.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be an RPG, I don't know. I have faith in them. Because also I hear from people who continued to play it that it got better because they released other content afterwards, which was they still had to pay for it because it was expansions and stuff like that. But they didn't lock people out or push me away like they did with us.
I mean, I think you're right. Like, no company that had like the trust of the gamers ever brought out its next release, which was this hugely awaited game, and then messed it up, not just at the game level, but then at a company level, lying about things like gameplay demonstrations from 2 years prior. That's never happened.
No, never.
So we can definitely trust these guys.
We can bank on it. Yeah. We can bank on it. Jack writes in as well to the Discord server, and he says, giving Ubisoft a Star Wars game is a death sentence. Ubisoft, good story. Goodbye, good story. Goodbye, open world content. But hey, at least it might be pretty. Which is true. They do make pretty games, Ubisoft.
Okay. Okay. I mean, maybe. I think there are other games that look better.
Yeah.
I mean...
I did like the way Valhalla looked.
Valhalla, I'm sure it looks okay.
It's just I'm not going to spend 200 hours playing the fucking game.
No, for that it would be Unity, right?
Exactly.
No, wait, is it Unity? Which is the one?
Unity before the patches.
That's it, pre-patch.
No, but Odyssey is definitely the one you want to play.
Odyssey is the one, yeah. So, like, sure, I'm sure Valhalla looks good, but the problem is that it's not a very good-looking pick. Like England in 1200 or whatever, it's 800 AD.
From what I've seen, I
Cyberpunk
didn't play too
looks
much
better.
of it because I got locked
Ghost
out,
of Tsushima looks better.
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah.
The Last of Us 1 and 2, forget graphics, right? I mean, like The Last of Us 2 is graphically very good.
Yeah.
Like if you like the aesthetic of that overgrown stuff, it looks better. My issue is the aesthetic choice.
Yeah.
And I think Ubisoft go for stuff that's going to probably be easy. Like if you think about, and I haven't played Valhalla, but I've seen a fair bit of people playing it.
Yeah.
It's an easy pick. It's land, a few bumps here, small village there, and some trees, right? They're not. I'm not saying they're phoning it in, but it's stuff that they can allocate more of the team to other stuff, like microtransactions.
I think I saw a review that James posted up from some like professional reviewer and whatnot, and that person was like, "It's absolutely amazing" was the main title,
right.
And then when you look into it, he's like, "There are these open areas with just nothing in them,
right?
And it feels really empty." It's like, so it's really amazing, but it feels empty. How does that work, right?
Well, like because I would worry that they won't. And I'm not saying they should do, but are they going to do Coruscant?
God, you know,
Naboo?
Yeah,
because Battlefront 2 is gorgeous.
That's going to be the...
Naboo.
I hate to give EA
Naboo is my favourite map, not because it plays the best, and I think it does play very well. It's top 2 or 3. It's very good for every game type, but it's Naboo.
Exactly.
And it looks so good.
They're going to go up against EA's Battlefront, which looks great, as we said. We've praised it
and it's very true to the IP.
Exactly. Yeah. So they've got a lot to stand up to. Cobra 67 wrote in.
He
also,
really needs to change that to 69 because it'd just be funny.
Yeah, why have you got it at 67, bro? Why? He writes in and he goes, "Open world Star Wars will be good fun though, especially if I can ram my bros on speeder bikes." So there you go. As long as you can ram your bros.
That's the important thing. Also,
with speeder bikes.
Funnily enough, it's funny that he says that because do you remember when Battlefront came out and we were playing it? I was saying, because you know they had Starfighter Assault. Yeah. And I was like, the clear, obvious additional game type here is a racing mode with speeder bikes and speeders and
Bring
stuff.
back Pod Racer!
Yeah, why not? Why not?
This is Pod Racer.
Right. Don't you think that makes sense? For Battlefront? I think that would have been a great extra mode.
Just a game type in there, right? It's too bad they got shut down to a skeleton crew. That's what really fucked them up there. But yeah, that's what's happening there. But as you said, Amy Hennig, that is the main thing that I got from this. When I heard it, I was like, so we can get Amy Hennig back, right?
But what if she doesn't agree to it?
And what if she's working on something else now?
First of all, it's Amy Hennig. She is working on something else, guaranteed.
Exactly.
Like she's one of the big
twiddling their thumbs waiting for someone to come along.
Like people want her to do stuff. She's got the track record. She consistently performs, right? So of course she's got something else. But maybe she's interested in the gig, except maybe she's not, because she spent 4 years attached to the other thing, and they couldn't get it off the ground, and then it got mothballed. Like maybe she's just like, no, yeah. Of course it is, to do a passion project or to do a project. I presume it's a passion project.
Yeah.
It seems like everything she takes is a passion project. Let's say that. So because she has the, what do you call it? Acumen she's got the brand, right?
Acumen, I think is the right word.
Yeah.
Words.
Because people know her for a thing, for her quality and what she makes, or at least is attached to. I don't really know how much she can take credit for, but it's always her attached to these things.
Her name is there, and it happens to be great.
I follow the success, right? Yeah. I think she can pick and choose the things, and I think she either reads. I don't really know how games work. Like if they have a script or I know how TV stuff gets made.
I think it does start with a script.
Like
I don't know,
or the brief or whatever, and she goes, "Yeah, like it. Yeah, like it. This, no, it's not for me." Right? And so I presume she takes only things that she ideally thinks are going to succeed, and she vibes with the premise. Yeah. So hopefully she's a big Star Wars fan, and she's going to say, "Oh shit, yeah, they want me on this." Hell's yes.
So this transitions, in my thoughts, my theory, possibility into the Sony Santa Monica Studios story.
That's right, guys. Amy Hennig confirmed to working for.
Oh man, could you imagine? So Sony Santa Monica Studios are hiring for a brand new unannounced game that they're working on right now. No release date, no nothing, no names, nothing like that. And we don't know what the hell it is. We know they're working on 2 projects. One of them is God of War 5. We know that now. And another unannounced project.
Because the thing is, they were working on 2 games when they started God of War 4, and that other one, they were like, "Yeah, this is it. We're not doing it."
And then they
restructured and moved, and
I don't know.
It got lost in the move.
I don't know if it was like they thought it was shit, or they decided they were just going to go God of War. What they were going to do, but it was a sci-fi game and it got cancelled.
Yeah, it looked okay.
We didn't really know much of it. That's what. It just saw some concept art. That's what we saw.
In fairness, we know about as much about that as we do Elden Ring. But please continue.
But don't worry, Elden Ring is my most anticipated game of the year, guys. There we go. Let's get in there. Elden Ring, go on.
So,
but don't worry, Phil Spencer's played a lot of it. He's played a lot of it. He has. It doesn't exist, but he's played it.
Okay.
So they've got an unannounced game. Go with me on a journey here.
All right. Let me just buckle up.
Buckle up, my friend. Buckle up. Cory Barlog recently on Twitter. Now, he is an eccentric guy.
Yes, to say the least. Yeah,
his mind goes everywhere, but we love him for it because it produces greatness. He said in a random tweet,
yes,
they should make a Mandalorian game, and he came out with specific details of how it.
Have you got those tweets? I want to hear what.
I haven't got the tweets here. I could probably find them for you, because I'm sure as soon as someone says, Cory Barlog said this,
I will say on the back of the fact that EA's relinquished the exclusivity.
Yeah,
maybe.
See, when he said that, it was we didn't know when the exclusivity was going to end for the EA license.
Gives them 2 years to make it.
So we was like, but EA has the license. There's no way anything could happen, right? He's
just fangasming over it. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think it was in December he said this. December.
Right around when we found out, yeah.
Exactly. And now we found out about this, that they're relinquishing the license, and Ubisoft are working on a game. It lines up.
It does line up.
Let me read you exactly what he said here. He goes, if someone isn't working on a great single-player Mandalorian game where you play as a bounty hunter, flying your ship through the system to system, picking up bounties, upgrading your Beskar armor, and getting involved in adventures, then I really don't know what the hell we're doing. And by great single-player, I mean story-focused on a character development with relatable human triumphs, losses, seemingly impossible decisions to wrestle with, not just shooting but surviving. Both physical and emotionally, thought I would hope the shooting. Though I hope the shooting would be fun. He said, I bet somewhere there is a dev who is secretly working on it, and they just like this tweet as a small way to say I'm on it.
My biggest problem with what he laid out. They've got Kratos.
Yeah.
Where's Atreus? That's why Mandalorian's good. Because you have Mando.
Really love the father and son sort of thing.
It's not me. I mean, I do. 100% I do.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like, maybe
everybody loves it.
Like, I've proved it. I mean, we've proved it. Like, we say it and people don't clock it. But, like, what is The Mandalorian? It's a father-son story.
Yeah.
And they literally... Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally say it at the end. They're like, oh... I'm not calling him Grogu. Baby Yoda thinks of you like a father, basically, right? Yeah. It is a father-son story. And I'm sure they're going to do a season 3 or something like that. It shouldn't be him. Because our investment with him is in relation to the child, right? Everything about that is I'm a bounty hunter and I have my life and blah, blah, and I don't want to I guess I have to look after this thing. Well, I guess now I have to do a quest. Yeah. And it's like this, same with the God of War, right? Like, they don't know how to get along, and this thing starts off as a hindrance, and then he ends up, it's like his focus, everything is about the kid. Same in God of War, same in The Last of Us, right? It's always this story.
And with this, you don't think it could happen?
How are you going to put it into the game?
It's the guy he didn't do it by himself, but the guy who made the father and son story for video games that's regarded in my books as the best. It's a story.
You don't have to say that. We all agree. Okay. I mean, you and I agree. You don't
if people don't know what to think about gaming until they come here, we tell them what to think.
That's true. We put it as the best game ever.
Exactly.
Like, or for me, like the other ones are like, you can just say best game ever for sure.
And then a story, as you said, about essentially a father and son.
Yeah.
So those two things put together, you think, no, there's no father and son going to happen in a story, possibly, if he was to make one.
I was about to say, how are they going to work in any Mandalorian? We don't, unless it's Boba, or Jango. We've no investment in them, so they're like a blank slate. But we know what a Mandalorian is, roughly speaking, like a bounty hunter. but how are you going to work in a son that, or a character, a child that no one's ever met before? But then I'm just thinking, like, we didn't know Atreus, did we?
We didn't know Atreus. We didn't know, and also as you said about how do we work in a Mandalorian, we didn't know this Mandalorian before we came along.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The thing is, the Mando's a blank slate, but you know what a Mandalorian is.
Yeah.
Right? If you like Star Wars at all, or the Mandalorian show, you know that these guys typically are bounty hunters, they're good warriors, that kind of thing. You have a rough idea of what they look like and stuff, right? Like anyone, even if you don't like Star Wars, you see a stormtrooper, you know it's a stormtrooper. You see Darth Vader, you know that's the father guy, right?
Yeah, the father guy.
And you see a Mando, and you presume, okay, yeah, that's like a Boba Fett type guy. So that's like not easy. You still got to put a good character in the suit, but you start off in a good place.
But we didn't know the son or the child, and they brought Atreus out, and that worked for us.
Yeah, it would.
So what do you think? Do you think this was the main crux of this whole thing? Right?
What are they working on, a Mando game?
Do you think, well, maybe Mando game, because he spoke about Mandalorian, that's the easiest thing to be. But do you think Sony Santa Monica Studios could have done what they did with Insomniac giving them Spider-Man, that they're working on a Star Wars single-player driven narrative game of the same caliber?
Do they have the money for the license?
Mate, it's Sony. And they did so well with the other Disney product, Spider-Man.
You know what? Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly.
The only reason I ask is, like, yes, Sony could get it, but will Sony front the money through Santa Monica? Except they just came out with God of War, so yeah, almost
exactly.
Fine, yeah, cool.
If anyone has a blank check to write, it's like, okay, guys, who's gonna get it? Oh, Santa Monica Studios, you want some? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Sorry, guys. My beef is the story. Love the world. Love, the IP. We need the story.
Well, it would be given to some of the best people in the industry.
Yeah. Do you know what
It's up to them to decide what the story's going to be. But if you was going to entrust,
I might do a John Wick instead of the father-child thing, because John Wick's almost the same. The thing about like a man and his dog.
You've gone one step over. Like you haven't even confirmed whether you think that it's possible for Sony.
I'm starting to write this thing, guys.
But now you're writing the story. Yeah. Do you want to make a little video so we can pitch it to them? Go on.
Well, I think so. Look, I think I've made the case that like the father and their child dynamic. We call it.
Just before you get into that, please answer the question of, do you think that it could be Sony
I'm writing it now.
No, you haven't said yes or no. You just keep going past that bit. Do you think Sony Santa Monica Studios could be working on a Star Wars game?
Could, yeah. I think it's still thin. I think it's still thin because Corey... check those tweets again. Is the first letter of every freaking line like we're making it.
As well as that, we are making a Star... Oh, it's there!
Confirmed! Like...
Ragnarok.
Right, exactly. He's the kind of guy that does announce stuff like that or seeds an idea to like get people ready kind of thing. Yeah. That, though, I still think that's fairly thin. Like the Ragnarok one, it was like...
Yeah, it was in your face, right?
Yeah.
This tweet here about the Mandalorian stuff, as I said, he's an eccentric guy.
He specifically said, I bet there is a dev who will like this saying, yeah, I'm working on it. He didn't... Yeah. Whereas with Ragnarok, it was like, we're going to be doing this project, blah, 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 whatever. Like, it was a bit more like, we're doing it. This is still thin, but I would say... I'm going to keep watching his Twitter.
Every day, just like refresh.
It could well be on the cards. Personally, I think especially for a Mandalorian that we don't know. Yeah. We were saying about the father and their son or child.
Yeah.
It's an archetypal story. My brother, who has like an English degree, is it English degree? He's really good at this stuff, and he knows story. He's like, I think you should make a YouTube channel breaking down stories and stuff. Yeah. He's incredible at this stuff, but and he doesn't watch, which is the only reason I complimented him.
Otherwise, fuck it.
Right. He's told me a few times like there are like archetypal stories. Like the father and their son doesn't have to be a son. Their father and the child is one, and another one that people just vibe with, especially here in the West, is a man and his dog. Yeah. John Wick is like a dark version of a man and his dog. Yeah. But a lot of your favorite stories are a man and his dog, or a boy and his dog. I think it actually is. It's a boy and a dog. With a Mandalorian, that might work really well, where the driving force of you going for what you're doing is the thing you like, or for company or your kid or whatever was taken from you, and you do your bounty hunting all the way to the end to like fund it and upgrade your Beskar arm because they're too big to fight as you are.
That could work.
I think we need like a boy and his dog type story. We've done not that it's overdone, because I think as long as you tell the story well,
you keep wanting more.
Yeah. Also, there's only so many stories, right? Every story you've ever loved, there's a million more of that genre or type of story that they're not as good. But I think a boy and his dog kind of in space with space wizards and laser guns could be the frickin' shout.
That could be cool, and it would be that just a little bit of a difference between God of War. Like people would just be like, "Oh, it's God of War." They just made
God of War in
another
space.
father-son, father-daughter thing. Oh my god! So it'd be a little bit of a difference. I think that could be quite good. But just to say, because I did come up with this theory and I thought
thin,
it up.
But yeah, okay.
I was like, I genuinely, I'm putting it out there. I genuinely do think that this unannounced game is a Star Wars game.
I need one more. I need one more
something
piece.
else to be like, okay.
I need one more piece. Like it's thin, but the start of any like detective story, it starts thin.
It starts with the tiniest crumb of evidence, and you're like, aha!
And I can totally believe this is Crumb 1. And I'm not joking. I think I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm definitely leaning like 60-40, you're right.
It's one of those things.
I need a little bit more.
It's the Leonardo DiCaprio Monsieur Candy moment where it's like, first you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Right, exactly.
That's what it is right now.
We need to know more for sure.
Know more.
I will say one thing to round up the Star Wars thing and EA and that.
Go on.
Especially Ubisoft, guys. Just pick no choice, make your main character. I don't want to see any of this. You just make your main character. They are what they are. It's going to be a space wizard with a laser sword.
It's going to make the person...
Just make a main character and make them compelling. I don't care if they're male or female or Yoda, whatever Yoda species is, right? They only ever call it Yoda species, I'm pretty sure. Or any of those aliens. Let me play a big milky mummy goth girl Twi'lek.
Whatever you want. Just pick something, choose it, stick with it, use it as the box art, and just be proud of whatever you've chosen.
Do you know what that?
And then we'll judge you based on your merits.
Look, let's say they make it female, because apparently the females are always looking interested.
Cassandra. They don't sell at all.
Of course, no one's ever interested.
No one's ever interested in female.
But give me a species selector. So let me be like human or like a female Yoda thing, or like nothing's changed except the character model, right? Or like a Twi'lek, like
I'll be a Bolchinian.
Right. Like that could be the shout.
But yeah.
That could be the shout. But anyway, look, I don't really care. Just make the main character compelling, and don't phone in the dialogue. If you're going to do different genders, have them say like, I like him or I like her, because otherwise you phone in this really... Valhalla has this, doesn't it? Where like it's not in your face, but the problem is it never sucks you in. You get really drawn into good dialogue. It's what makes a game.
It all just leaves you on the surface. You just don't really care about anything. Sean wrote this to get me really hyped. He goes, holy... I won't say the word, even though I have sworn once or twice on this podcast. Please be a Superman game, what Sony Santa Monica Studios is working on. You are in the same boat as me, where we are drinking our own Kool-Aid and we're just like high on our own supply, and we are dreaming, my friend. I would love for it to have a Superman game to come out and be like, directed by Cory Barlog.
I'll say this,
but it's never happening.
I think it was you that tweeted out. I think someone had taken one of the Dragon Ball Z games and reskinned it in an open world map with like some trees and buildings and stuff.
Yeah, they actually made the game. It's on Steam as well.
Oh, really?
I think Dan sent me the link to it, and I was like, I want to play this on a stream one day. And then Combros Day happened.
I mean, consider it, especially if it's cheap enough.
Exactly.
But like the Dragon Ball Z games, they used their. I don't know if you've ever played them.
No.
Back in even like PlayStation 2, I think. Basically, it's like a tournament fighter, except you can fly and stuff, because it's Dragon Ball Z, and you do the Kamehamehas and the laser balls. Right, exactly. And you go Super Saiyan and whatever. Yeah. And for people that haven't seen it, I guess you can maybe we'll link it in the description.
Something. Yeah.
We'll definitely forget. But basically, if someone's taken, it seems like one of those Dragon Ball Z things, and instead of making them Super Saiyan, they put like Vegeta or something in Superman's costume, and then they fly around and do those same mechanics that have been in these Dragon Ball Z games for like a decade or more, 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's proof that, like, I don't know why I never considered the Dragon Ball Z games do it, so why couldn't Superman? But it proved...
I never thought of it as well.
Right, but putting it in the Superman and seeing it there in front of your face, you're like, yeah, this is totally doable. So in terms of, like, the physical mechanics for the game, doable. The issue is, and I want to hear it, What's the game about? Pitch me the game.
That's the thing. It has to be, because a lot of people don't understand Superman. A lot of people don't vibe with Superman as much as, say, like Batman, because we've had so many installments of Batman, so it's been told the story, and the story's been hammered home.
Yeah.
There needs to be that initial first start. It needs to not be like the DCEU where it starts in the middle. It needs to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. And people need to start from the beginning and find out what Superman is and why it is he's so great and why he's the head of the Justice League and whatnot and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're going to have, whatever you make is just going to flop. So it has to be how he became who he was.
Yeah.
Start from the beginning and then play in the middle being Superman and whatnot. Yeah.
I will say, so we've got the movie club for Boy of Steel coming up.
The Boy of Steel.
And
sorry, my tech issues mug right.
Yeah, that's cool. It's part of our new merch.
Exactly.
Link in the description, hopefully, if you remember.
All of the merch helps our conversations. They meet a thing grow up, helps fund the channel, blah, blah.
That movie changes a lot of stuff, and a lot of it isn't good, but there is one change I would make to Superman.
How dare you?
You don't even pretend.
When it comes to movie club, you're going to be shocked by how much I school you, but go ahead.
The one change I would make to Superman, I would keep everything that we have, everything that's real, like, I mean, canon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would have that as Superman uses his... Jor-El says this line, something like, the sun's radiation his cells will drink in the sun's radiation.
Yes.
Why is it Superman never runs out of power? He should be a battery. He is a battery, right?
Essentially.
And so if he spends all of his time visioning, laser visioning ice to get down to a spaceship, hypothetically, maybe he should be winded at the end of it because he's using power, right?
But that doesn't make him super. I know. I get what you mean.
I think that would be a really interesting dynamic to Superman, who starts any conflict untouchable, but has to meter out where he spends his energy in his super strength, in like not super picking, right? But like the more he lifts, the weaker he'll get. The more he uses his like laser beams or X-ray vision, or maybe even to the point where he can like kind of choose how strong his skin is. Like in Star Trek, where they're like, take energy from the rear deflector and put it to the
forward deflector shields.
Right. Like maybe he's like, okay, well I'm not flying, so I'll make my skin extra hard or something like that.
So I'm not going to go into this discussion, not because I don't like you, but I don't like you, but not because of that.
Anyway, we're just talking Superman.
Because it will be a Superman podcast and we've got a lot of shit to talk about. But when it comes to the Man of Steel one, bring it up again, because I have answers for, my personal answers for those things. And I do want to have this, and that's the place to have it, right? So tune into that Sunday conversations. There you go. The next topic that we have. Machine Games announces an Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
They are working on an Indiana Jones game. Bethesda's the actual company, but Machine Games is the developer company.
Oh, okay.
So owned by Bethesda. They're going to be working on it.
Bethesda's realized that they can't make a freaking game.
But Machine Games is working on one, right? Now, this is funny to me because there was for me personally, there was this moment where I was like, Indiana Jones? Oh my, how would that...
Also, haven't we had 4 of those with Nathan Drake?
And haven't we had that with Tomb Raider? And haven't we had that with everything? Anyway, I was like, how would they make an Indiana Jones game work? Like, what would be the drive of it? Who would you play as? Why would they can't get Harrison Ford? Tons of stuff happened. And then I thought to myself, who's making this? Let's start from the beginning. Yeah. Machine Games are the guys who made Wolfenstein. Yeah. The past 2 Wolfenstein things have been... not great.
Not very well regarded, yeah.
Exactly. They're in like the reds, like 5 out of 10s and stuff like that. And
the previous ones were really good though.
Yes, apparently. I haven't played any of them, just so full disclosure. And they are first-person shooters. Yeah. Now, the only if
this is first person, I'm out.
That's the thing.
I'm out.
You can't play an Indiana Jones movie game in first person. What kind of bullshit's that? And the only similarity that they have, and I love if this was the pitch in the thing. They're like, Machine Games come along. We want to make the Indiana Jones game. Why should we give it to you? Well, our previous games have been about killing Nazis. So Indiana Jones sold. That's the only comparison, only like connection I could draw right there.
It's not a bad point, to be fair.
But yes, they are going to be making it. And I thought to myself, who would you play as in an Indiana Jones movie?
It's got to be Indy. I'm not invested in anybody else.
That's true. But who would play Indiana Jones other than Harrison Ford? he made Indiana Jones. There is no one else that can do Indiana Jones, much like no one else can do Han Solo.
I think. Well, you say that,
and you can't get Harrison Ford, old man. I'm too
no,
old for this crap.
He won't voice act it. Also, because if they make 2 or 3 more or 4 more,
yeah,
are you going to put your investment on that old of a horse?
That might die.
Yeah,
he's getting old now.
He is, and we've lost so many of the Star Wars cast, the original cast. Here's the thing. You say no one else can play Han. But in the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, Solo...
Yes, I'm listening.
Guy whose name I forget actually plays a very good young Han. He is very good. I mean, he doesn't...
Is it Cassian Andor? Is that his name?
No, that's a character. I'm talking about the actual actor.
The actor. Oh, sorry, in Solo. My apologies. I'm thinking of Rogue One, your favorite movie.
My favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite, but the best... Objectively,
one.
The best movie is Solo.
Yes.
My favorite is Rogue One, of course. We all know this. I feel dirty just saying it. I like... dirt, my skin's crawling. But he plays actually a very good young Han. And I felt I was watching young Han Solo, even though it looks nothing like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But he walks and moves and talks. Not his voice doesn't sound the same, but he walks, moves, and talks quite like it. I think you use a young Harrison Ford model and you get a voice actor, because there are people that do very convincing impressions. Not so much in Battlefront 2. Those voices sound mostly quite atrocious. However, you could find, if you had actual tryouts, you could find someone that sounds like young Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
Young, I didn't think about that. I was thinking about...
Because Harrison Ford sounds like old Harrison Ford now, right? He doesn't sound like young Harrison Ford.
Exactly. And I was thinking, even if you were to get Harrison Ford to play in the game, I was thinking prime Indiana Jones. But if you was to make like a younger Indiana Jones...
I think you have Harrison Ford come back as like his teacher or lecturer or dad or something, right? That as just a little nod. That would be cool. But I think you have tryouts, you get people who have a similar voice to how he sounded back in the day, like in Blade Runner and Star Wars and Indiana Jones. And you have them speak the way he spoke in the movies. Yeah. Right, with the same inflections and patterns and stuff. And that's the way you do it. And you use young Indy as the thing. And maybe you start young. Like I don't think you do the movies. I think you need at least one of the games has to be a new adventure.
Well, I think so too. I think that's how it has to go.
The Uncharted series proved that these games are great. This is exactly what people want to play. And Nathan
Treasure
Drake...
hunting type thing, yeah.
Exactly. Nathan Drake, by the way, totally unknown character for the first Uncharted game. Yeah. Brand new character.
But this is the thing. Then it just makes it... Then there's no point in it being an Indiana... In my mind, there's no point in it being an Indiana Jones game. It's just another let's go find treasure game. The thing that made the movie so great, again, was Harrison Ford.
Oh, I totally agree.
I watched because it was Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Yeah. Not, okay, they're going to go find the fucking Ark of it, wherever it is. They can find the Holy Grail.
The
I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, this time it's got Sean Connery in it. He's a cool guy. That kind of stuff like that. I loved all of the movies.
I changed my mind.
They're just so great.
I think you do each movie in the games. Yeah. But it's the first quarter of the game. So the Ark of the Covenant, you do that by a quarter of the way through the game. You go through the movie, right? You do the thing. But then for the rest of the next 70 or 60% of the game, it's no adventure. What was he doing between those adventures? Yeah. So you start the movie. You play through the movie because it's Indiana Jones, right? It's young. Yes, this is the way you do it.
If they can fit stuff in between, then I get, okay.
Right, and then you do the thing that leads to the next movie. You start game 2 and it's like you go to find the Holy Grail or your dad's been kidnapped or whatever, right? Temple of Doom, but it's like what leads up to the Temple of Doom. And in that, in that first game, where you're leading up to Temple of Doom, you hear about the new... what is he, like a new Shah or something but it's a totally throwaway thing, but it leads on to the next game and you meet your old friend who's going to come in and be what's that little kid's name?
I don't remember his name.
Half Stop?
No, Short Round. That's it. Half Stop. Where'd you go? Where did you get that from?
I think it's like a stop. So it's a baseball thing, isn't it? I think Short Round is a baseball thing because he's always wearing the baseball cap and the baseball jersey. Yeah, and I think a half stop is a baseball thing. I think.
I see how your mind did that.
Yeah, you'll need to tell me. I don't know, but I think that's the way you do it, right? Yeah. So the first 30% of the game is the movie. You get to play through your most iconic childhood movies, right? Yeah. But then new adventure that leads into the next game. Then the next game comes. You do the Temple of Doom, but you're maybe a hair under halfway through. New adventure that leads into the the Holy Grail. I think that's the way you do it.
Now you've got me kind of excited for it. Before I was just like, I don't understand.
Let me take that away. Bethesda.
That's a good point. Bethesda will Bethesda this at the end of the day. Their recent track record for the past couple of games have just been, we've made a game. It's awful. Give us more money. That's their stance on everything and whatnot.
Except, here's one silver lining.
Go on.
They may Bethesda this game, but it will be the last game they ever Bethesda. Because if you ruin Indiana Jones, you're done.
That's like holy ground.
Yeah, and I really mean it. I don't think Bethesda, I thought probably should have died out a while ago with the very subpar products they've been bringing out.
Yeah.
Despite, again, loving the brand. It seems like a lot of games companies going that way. CDPR just did it. Like, they don't seem to know that we will dump them.
It's proof that no matter how big you are, you can't get.
But no one's surviving this.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is up there with like Star Wars, love and passion and stuff. You are not. Bethesda is not surviving. They're done if they fuck this up.
Especially because,
and I went hard F there.
I really
like you heard that.
I really love these movies. Please don't. I love all of these. They only made 3, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, it's a P. I would have loved a 4th movie.
Someone said to me there was another one. I was like, you sure you didn't dream this?
I Googled it, but I didn't see anything.
There's nothing there.
No, there's only 3.
Especially Bethesda, because they've made Fallout 4, which people accepted to a point because it was
okay.
It was okay. But
it wasn't New Vegas.
It was dated when it came out. Yeah. It was like they locked themselves in a room and they were like, "This is upgraded from New Vegas."
The MW3'd
but everyone else was like making these much better games.
The MW3'd it. Do you remember when MW3 came out?
Yes, exactly.
And the audio was from like 2007.
The microphone system.
Oh, so bad.
And then they made Fallout 76, which was just an utter failure, trash in every regard.
But it was up to date. It was newer.
It was online. That was all it was.
Yeah.
And if they make another terrible game and they haven't released what everyone is expecting, which is like Starfield or Elder Scrolls, the next one and whatnot, and those aren't amazing, they release this one, they'll be dead in the water.
They will be dead in the water. Also, for the record, I don't think Elder Scrolls is enough to save them.
I don't think so enough as well. I don't think so, personally.
Don't get me wrong, Elder Scrolls is a great franchise, but so was Fallout. They were similarly... I think Elder Scrolls nudges it, right? People seem to prefer fantasy. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not a banger, and I don't mean a good game, it needs to be a freaking great Elder Scrolls installment. Probably downfall. Like, that maybe they'll bring out a good one isn't enough. And even if that's good and they tank Indiana Jones, I think tanking Indiana Jones is enough to destroy the best Elder Scrolls they've ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I really think, and I really mean it.
What it will be, I think, if they do bring out a good Elder Scrolls and they mess up Indiana Jones, it will just be the good gamers. Yeah. They'll disregard Bethesda completely. Yeah. They'll be like, Bethesda's no longer important to anyone. And then there'll be those hardcore people that just want Elder Scrolls and only play Elder Scrolls, like the Destiny people who just play Destiny. Yeah. They'll go back to Bethesda and fund that at least, and then they'll be off to the side and no one cares.
I don't think that's enough people.
It's not enough people, but they're being now funded by Microsoft, and Microsoft are willing to throw money at anything.
Like $500 million hypothetically, a game that isn't ready. But you show an old build, right? So you don't have to show.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the money, just spend a bit of money and it's all right. Okay. Anyway, Juice writes in as well on this topic, and he goes, I think the indie game could be really good because I love Machine Games. He actually does love the Wolfenstein games in the past. The only question is, can they apply themselves to a new genre well? Because I doubt the indie game will be a sci-fi, fast-paced, first-person shooter. Which is exactly my thought at the beginning. I was like, they do...
Hold on a minute.
First-person sci-fi shooter.
Hold on a minute. Apply? Hold on. You missed the first part of his frickin' statement. I don't care at all about Star Wars.
So yeah, that was in the previous one, but go and read it out because that was about the previous topic. Go and read it.
Juice, who's about to get banned on the Discord, said, I don't care at all about Star Wars. I think the indie game could be really good because I love the Machine Games in the past with Wolfenstein. Then the question is if they can apply themselves to a new game well, because I doubt the indie game will be a sci-fi fast-paced FPS, which is all so far Machine Games have made.
I've just banned him.
Good, thank you.
He's gone. See you later, Juice. You destroyed yourself.
As to the question, what is your most anticipated unannounced game
that's coming
that you think is likely to be announced? Okay. Because you've been jumping backwards and forwards here. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm on the same room in the Discord. Can't find the comment you're reading. And
do you know what it is?
You're half reading some and coming back to others.
You guys can let me know if this sounds good. Instead of leaving, doing all the stories and then leaving all the stuff at the end, and then we're done with the conversation, and we come back to it because someone's wrote in. Right. I've sort of slotted them in, and questions like the unannounced games we can put at the end because that's separate.
Right.
I felt like it was good. You guys can let me know.
Fair enough. I wish you would have told me before we started the podcast.
Sorry.
Other than that,
I just started it today, so it was a bit out of it.
Other than that, it's a great idea. Wish I'd known about it before now.
I feel like pitching an idea to you that I don't even know if it will work on paper. It's I don't know. Anyway, now you know. Go for it. Yeah. Next topic right here. CDPR's apology. Yeah. So, for those of you guys that didn't know, Cyberpunk came out and it's been bad. If you've been living under a rock, it's not been great.
Yes.
The game came out and has not been working on various consoles, not even been working great on PC that well, but that is the best platform. Yeah. And Adam Boyowski, I always messed that up.
Adam.
The CEO. He put out a video statement. It was 5 or 6 minutes long, apologizing in some sort of way, talking about...
Apologizing, heavy air quotes.
And talking about how they got to the point that they are. Yeah. What the problems were in their mind. Yeah. And gave an updated roadmap of what to look forward to in the future.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
South Park.
Yes.
Have you seen the, I think it was BP oil, back when they had that refinery or whatever it was that just dumped loads of oil. Have you seen the South Park? Yeah. Have you seen the South Park version of the BP apology?
No.
It's freaking hilarious. I recommend all of you just Google South Park BP apology or South Park apology or something.
Now, or if you're listening on podcast
leave
services,
a dislike, turn it off, leave a 1-star. Yeah,
if you're listening on podcast services, you're driving like an ambulance, something like that. Pull over to the side of the road.
An ambulance.
Pull over to the side of the road. Stop right there. Pull out your phone. Because you don't want to be unsafe.
Right, of course.
Forget the guy in the back. Just my heart.
So, the basic premise is it's just a suit apologizing to the world, right? And as more things come out that they've done wrong, the apology gets worse and worse. So he starts off doing the walking hey, we're sorry or whatever. By the end of it, he's naked on a rug by a fireplace with wine saying, we're sorry.
Because he has to seduce you to
right. It's just getting more and more ridiculous. We're sorry. We're sorry. You're not doing anything. You're just saying, we're sorry.
That's it.
Please forgive us. Yeah, right, exactly. It's very funny. Highly recommend you find that section.
And that's basically what this is.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
They talk about the last gen systems. They talk about how they got into this state. And the way that Adam puts it is that this is how they got into this issue is that they made the game specifically for PC.
That's the way a game should be made.
Exactly.
That's the way games are made. Well, certain games in it. A lot.
Some games, I have to say, I feel like, I don't know because I'm not a game developer. I feel like they
don't let ignorance get in the way of a strong position.
I feel like it's the other way around, right? Because you can't go for your highest thing and then try to retroactively fit that into a thing. You need to go for each one. Or if you are going to scale up, then you can put it into obviously a PC can handle a bit more.
This wasn't an issue for The Witcher. And this is exactly how, prior to recently, the last few years, games were generally developed for PC and ported down to console. They did it for The Witcher. They did it for a lot of these cross-platform titles. Recently, it seems that people develop for the consoles and then go up. I agree.
Because that's where the money is now. Yeah. That's what the problem is. And that's, not what the problem is. That's how it's working because it makes so much money for them and whatnot. Now, they say they worked on PC and then tried to spec downwards, which for this is entirely backwards. Yeah. They can't, it's wrong. You can't try and fit a PC game into a PS4 because the PS4 is just so powerless in comparison to it. And they claimed in that video that they didn't know the PS4 was in that state when they shipped it.
Well, then you don't know what your game looks like,
and that's a gross oversight of management.
Yeah, that's not a good excuse.
That's not a good excuse.
That is the Halo Infinite. Well, it's an old build.
Yes,
that isn't a saving grace. That is a huge misunderstanding about what you're doing.
And they go on further and
I
they
didn't
say...
know he said that. I mean, I caught a bit of the apology. I didn't know he said that. That's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Fire this guy.
The way he says it, he goes, QA didn't reveal these problems before releasing the game.
Well, then it wasn't QA'd.
I was like, so you either didn't QA it and you just released it. You either...
You knew.
QA'd it and you just ignored the QA testers and said, thank you, by the way, for throwing the fucking QA testers under the bus.
Right.
Fucking, because you know they've got no voice and you're like, fuck it. Or you guys paid the QA guys and just ignored them all in general and whatnot, stuff like that. Which either way is complete and utter management disaster.
I think it's
fucked
number 3.
up everything.
I think it's number 3. I bet the QA guys came back and said, this thing is bad, it doesn't work, it's trash. And they were like, no. No.
Yeah. I mean, those guys, they literally have no stake in the race. They're like, our job is to tell you if it's bad or if it's good or if something's not working. They do that. And then they get paid.
I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is that job, by the way, isn't, you don't play games for fun. Like, sometimes your day's work is you need to run and jump against every corner of this building and every wall and see if you can accidentally get through.
And imagine an open world game, how tedious that must be.
Right.
But yeah, those guys doing that. And I'm like, I don't believe any of your shit. I thought
any of those 3 doesn't pass muster. That's not an excuse for this to get passed.
Not an apology,
especially at the state it came out on PS4 and Xbox. Is PS4 worse than the Xbox One version, or they're about the same?
About the same. Yeah. I mean, there's probably. I think the Xbox One version runs at 720p, whereas the PS4 version runs at 900p. But in terms of performance, it's pretty much the same. They're all buggy messes and whatnot. Now, I don't believe what he says purely because, and they don't address this. The PC codes went out a week or 2 before the game came out. The PS4 codes, the console codes, didn't come out until like 8 hours before the release of the game.
Right.
If you guys didn't know the game was going to come out in a buggy mess and you was confident in your product the same way that you was confident in your PC code, it would have come out on the same day and gone out to reviewers.
The worst thing,
you guys knew it was bullshit.
That means that they spent that last week feverishly trying to get the baseline console thing game working.
Yeah.
And what it came out as was after that.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't cut the mustard. It doesn't make any sense. At any angle you look at it, that is a bad statement.
Yeah.
Right?
Is an awful statement. It's an awful statement on the company as well, like how they operate and stuff like that. What would have been acceptable is one of the 3 patches that came out afterwards, the 0.456 something like that, came out afterwards, was the patch that fixed everything. Because then it's like, you guys fell behind a little bit, but they're not. Yeah. Those patches are just inconsequential. They barely do anything.
Also, the game it's too much game for that tech.
Yeah.
Right?
We've said that at the beginning. We were like, please don't release it on PS4 and Xbox One.
Now, in fairness, I do understand having to release it on previous gen, but I think, and we said it before, but I think coming out with the line of like, look, we're going to release it because we know you want it, but we cannot get it to run satisfactorily on the baseline. At least try and do your best to get to a Pro or whatever the Xbox One Pro is S, whatever that is, right?
You guys and your names.
Frick Xbox. But like, even on that, we'd highly recommend you get a gaming rig or a next gen console, but we know that's not, not everybody can do that. But the game is unsatisfactory. I don't feel comfortable backing it on those things. PS4 Pro, it's okay. It's going to have issues. It's an older piece of kit. It's really intended. It's a cutting edge game.
Yeah.
Presuming you made the game fully, right? Like it didn't come out as a huge buggy mess, but whatever. We can look past buggy messes. It's not. The Witcher wasn't very great the first week, because we got it on the first week. It was kind of nowhere near as bad as Cyberpunk, but it wasn't great.
Yeah,
we'll give you that first week and do the hot patches and all that stuff, hot fixes. But the problem is that it's the suits, it's the lines they're coming out of, like, oh well, blah blah blah. No, that's bullshit. It wasn't revealed in QA. Then you're lying, or it wasn't QA'd. At some point, you're lying.
They said some bullshit as well. They were like, they tried to almost. There was a moment where I was like, okay, they're being CDPR about this, where they're trying to be a bit more honest and give us the correct answer. Right. Which is, they were saying that the higher ups pressured the people below to release this game in the state that it was. And I was like,
it's a business. That's what happens.
Okay. All right. You're being honest here. That's probably not what you wanted to say because it's damaging to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you that. And then they proceeded to say all these other lies afterwards. And I was like, why did you even bother releasing this fucking video? It was bullshit.
It just, it doesn't fly.
There was one other massive piece of crap that came out with this. So, after that came out, our favorite journalist, Jason Schreier, came out with a piece like minutes afterwards.
Didn't I already? I don't know this piece. I'm just going to guess because I predicted.
Go on.
Because we said before it came out, like, I bet Jason Schreier has an article that says something along the lines. Let me know if this is right. see, even with all that crunch and like abusing their developers, it didn't work and we got a shitty game.
That was definitely the underlying like message in all of this.
What's the title? Do you know the title?
I don't know the title of it. Okay. I really don't want to. I got the best part out of it. But basically, it was talking to some developers who had worked there previously and people who currently work there, some anonymous people who decided to talk and whatnot about the conditions and what's actually happening. One key bit came out, and it was that the 2018 demo that we saw...
Oh, yeah.
Was apparently completely fake.
Yeah.
Our musical squire writes in, it goes, do you believe the rumors that the 2018 Cyberpunk demo being fake, or do you trust it was real, just on a super powerful PC? And he also goes, also fuck EA.
Well, we saw it.
That's the thing.
And I said at the time, didn't I?
We said it feels like it's like he's not actually playing, like he's in that corridor, but there's nothing else.
It was it was like watching someone play with lag, except it was backwards. Yeah. It was the human lagging, right? So, and I remember saying it the other day, do you remember we were watching it? And this isn't to beef you out, but you were like, nah, it's fine. At least while we were watching it.
I was like, it's probably just running on a powerful PC. That's why it
But like I said, like, it doesn't feel like he's playing. It feels like he's moving the control to make it look like he's playing. Like, you know when he shot that dude?
Yeah.
He was like, you can either stealth and leave him, or you can... And then while she's talking about leaving the guy, he shoots him.
Yeah.
That, like... She
it
wasn't
happened
surprised.
Like out of time or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
out of time. And if that level had been ready, that would have been an option and he could have picked and chosen, right? It seemed like she was scripted to say, oh, I guess you can kill, she wasn't surprised that he killed the guy, right? And this wasn't like you're supposed to, like, for once today, can we actually stealth kill this guy? It was like you weren't supposed to do that. I guess we'll do a different thing. Line, right? Yeah. And I remember saying that and saying, like, it doesn't feel like he's playing. It feels like we're watching a video and he's that guy that streamed the UFC fights pretending he was playing that. It kind of felt like that. So we saw it, and I did have that feeling, and I chose to ignore it.
See, I think because we had the confidence in CDPR then as well.
Yes, we did.
And to be honest, a demo being fake doesn't actually matter as long as the final product comes out and it's fine and it matches it. And I'm sure there's probably other people that have done this, but the last people that did this and got caught in that, Anthem.
Yes.
And do you remember when I asked you as well, does this game messed up as much as Anthem? Has that changed at all in your mind since then? Because you said no.
It's messed up as much, but in totally different ways.
Yeah.
Right, like it hasn't bricked any consoles, or at least not. I'm sure maybe someone's.
I mean, that's on a technical level, but
so like
the company and the idea of the
big.
game, yeah.
I think that's a really big deal personally. But I will say, forget the actual stock prices. Their stock with us very low.
Yeah,
very low. Especially the amount of time this game has supposedly been in development.
Yeah.
And it's clearly gone through many, many, many rewrites and reworks, and still doesn't work. And there's Anthem-esque, obviously huge amounts of content that wasn't in there, that has been intended to be in the game and isn't. Now, look, maybe that is just because if it did have all of that, there's no way it runs. Maybe, right? Could also have been that it was challenging, or they set out to do this thing and couldn't make it work, or whatever. Like, I understand those things, but it's also very obvious that a lot of this game is intended. Now, a lot of this game is intended to be like open in a way that it isn't, and I don't mean, because I actually don't mind this. You know, when you go into a building, it says like door locked or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's just a way of them saying like, not here, man. But like this door would be openable in a real world. Like if you had real serious control over this and you really were the guy, you could kick this door in. But you're not going to do it because it's a video game, right? You need to go to where your mission's telling you to go. I don't mean stuff like that. Because I actually kind of feel like it's like, this isn't the door I'm looking for. The door I'm looking for is unlocked, hypothetically. I mean things like the Mantis Blade wall running. It seems to me there are a few areas that you're like, you can get to, but you can't get to them. And maybe if you get the double jump. And I did get the double jump, and I've been...
And you had the Mantis Blade thing, you could have climbed up that wall and gone over the wall or whatever.
Right, exactly. There are things that... I don't know, there just seems like a lot to this game that wasn't in there. Imagine getting Ghost of Tsushima, except the wind isn't there, it's just a line on the map that takes you like Dead Space.
Yeah.
And like the birds and the foxes don't take you to places, right? But you knew that there are birds and foxes in there. they're clearly not the same as the regular animals.
Yeah, they're textured differently. They
Right,
look
right.
specific ways.
But they just don't do anything. They're just in the game, and you're like, all those, you know, those
You get
pools
the
that you would get
feeling
into,
there's
and you
something
get
here.
that you do the poem, and you get a little bit of extra health.
Yeah.
Like they're there, but you can't get into them and stuff like that. That's how the game feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really annoying. Again, because like a lot of it hits out of the park, and seriously, some of the writing in it is really good. Judy and Panam, brilliant. Takamura, brilliant. Like there are a lot of things that are very, very well done. Very well done. And in fairness, they had like Mike Pondsmith and stuff, and who's the guy that created Cyberpunk. But like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah. It does. Oh God, there was such high hopes, and it's crazy how it's gone.
I don't think it was worth it. If you're CDPR, this was not worth it.
No, and the thing is, they were granted a lot of people hyped it up as well, but they fueled that fire to make it go even more because it's beneficial to them. It hyped up their stock prices, it hyped up everything, and it gives them more ability to get funding from people because this is the biggest game in the world. You're not going to invest? Come on.
Do you know the thing is, we messed up. So we said, or have said like in the past, if this game is half the game we think it could be, it'll be the biggest thing ever. Yeah. And the problem is, it kind of was half of what we rated it to be. But the thing we didn't anticipate is that CDPR would release a game that wasn't like that was worse than Bethesda levels of not ready. Right? That's the thing we assumed it would come out and it might not be as good as we'd hyped it up to be, but it works and it's good and it'd be the biggest game ever.
Yeah.
Instead, it came out. It wasn't as good as we expected, but that's to be expected, right? I mean, you hype stuff so much higher, and it doesn't work. And there's clearly content that's intended to be there, supposed to be there, and isn't. It's really disappointing. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Except I'm also angry.
Except I'm also angry.
Yeah.
As I said about this, the demo being fake. As I said, as long as I don't mind if a demo is fake, if they don't have an actual code ready.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. It is a little bit disingenuous because
it doesn't matter if the game is broke, if the game works when it comes out.
If it comes out as that, then it's fine.
Yeah.
And the reason why people aren't supposed to make those demos fake is because then it gives you like a reality check, and it goes, okay, so we've made this code and we've run this. Let's make a demo version of it. Oh, okay, this thing isn't possible. Yeah. That thing isn't possible. So we can set expectations accordingly. Whereas if you make a fake code for a fake game that doesn't exist using just unbelievable specs, an unbelievable engine, then you can make whatever you want. And then when you get the final product and it's not that, then it's not representative of that.
You know what?
And that's what's happened here. And that's the annoying
If
part.
anyone has played the old like Final Fantasy games, stuff like that, the in-game graphics fairly poor, right? And this isn't a complaint. It's just it's a
product of the time, isn't it?
Yeah. But the cutscenes, so like my favorite Final Fantasy 9, on the PlayStation 1, the cutscenes, it's freaking incredible that they could manage it. I mean, seriously, like Google just Final Fantasy 9 cutscenes. They look really good, really good. And then you play the game cuts to the in-game footage, and it's very different. And the thing is, when you're in a game and you're watching a cutscene in the old way that used to be done, where you had cutscenes and then gameplay, before like God of War, like that was okay because you knew you were watching a cutscene. The problem is when you render out a cutscene and tell people this is what the game is, right? Like that's what CDPR did. Is they rendered a cutscene and then just Google like Final Fantasy 9 gameplay.
I've seen your gameplay. Yeah, it's nothing like this.
Right. But the thing is there's nothing wrong with that because you know that's a cutscene.
Yeah.
And it's like a pre-rendered, like a digital movie kind of thing, right? And the problem with making a game like what a demo like Cyberpunk did, like CDPR did, is that you're functionally watching a digital movie, right? Like a CG movie that is intended to make you believe
that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, like it's the game, but it isn't. They could have done anything in that. The guy could have flown in that and you go, oh, cool, you get jetpack feet.
Yeah.
But no, you don't. Do you know what I mean? That's the bit that there's a problem. If the game had come out like that, fine, it's not a big deal. Also, it occurs to me, have you found Monowire?
I haven't found it yet. I know it's in there, but I haven't found it.
I haven't found it, and I got like 40 hours on this bitch. You would have thought, because I got different versions of Mantis blades.
Yeah.
I've been able to buy gorilla arms and stuff for a while.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
One other thing to talk about is the updated. They give a roadmap as well for the Cyberpunk 2077.
There's no way they're hitting it.
It doesn't look like it's believable. And to be honest, why should we believe anything after what they've said so far? When they released it, which was like 8 days ago, they said there was going to be a patch 1.1 within the next 10 days. We're closely coming up on that. And by the time this podcast comes out on free services on like YouTube and whatnot, we'll have known if it's something's come out. Because that'll be like 11 days.
Don't worry, man. The patches will come out in the same timescale the game did. So in 8 years, the game will finally work on the PS4.
They said that they're also going to do in February a patch 1.2.
These are supposed to be very large patches.
Supposed to have massive stability. Like supposed to actually probably fix the game. And they've pushed back their content updates for this and the DLC, the free DLC. One of the
only things I was really looking forward to.
Exactly. Apparently that's going to come almost immediately after the 1.2 update. But the way they've done it, they've got like a year 2021 like graph right? And they go in the first like slither, it looks like in this comparison the first 1 or 2 months. Patch 1.1 and 1.2. And then they've got this giant grayed out area, multiple updates and improvements, free DLC, and right at the end of it, they've got the free next-gen console update. So this game really wasn't supposed to come out until fall 2021, December 2021. It was a year early.
And had they said in 2020, guys, it's super embarrassing.
Yeah.
But like, the game is not satisfactory.
Yeah.
And we're delaying it by a year, March 21. Right? I think if they'd have stopped in 2020 and said we need an extra year, the game would have come out working. It would have been what we've got now, but it would have worked.
Yeah.
I think that we would have accepted. And this is the thing though. Like
people did accept it. The PC version was getting 9s and 10s out of 10s. Yeah. That was enough for people.
Yeah.
It just needed to work on everything.
Yeah.
And then everyone would have been fine.
Right.
And then if they did all the content updates and all the cut content, it would have been extra gravy. This is the best game ever.
Yeah.
But they decided not to do that.
But also,
not do what you said.
Why couldn't... Look, it's easy to go back and say...
Yeah.
In fairness, they handled this... There is no worse way to handle this other than actually like... attacking people, right?
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, you're the problem. Yeah.
You're the problem with gaming.
Games have previously done this where they'll release on one thing and then come to the consoles, like, or the other way around.
This was all 100% pressure from all of their investors and the suits and everything from above. They made promises to them, and they made a quite bad promise, and that's why they're getting 3 class action lawsuits. Is there something like that happening right now? Where they said it's running surprisingly well on previous gen consoles, PS4 and stuff like that.
Pardon me?
Yes. They're like, we're just in the polishing phase.
This is the thing. Like, I understand getting pressure from investors and higher ups and stuff, but it's like,
understand that. Obviously, we're all about investors.
Yeah, of course.
And whatnot.
But it's like, if we just do what you want, this will be worse. It will be a negative impact. So it's better that you're unhappy for a short period now than unhappy for a long freaking time because we tank your investment in us. Yeah. But I don't know why no one has the courage to tell suits to get fricked. God, give me that job. Pay me. I'll pay you to let me tell suits to get fricked.
There's a job. I don't know if you know about this. I found this out about in How I Met Your Mother, the TV show.
Is this real or is it like a...
It's a real job. Real job.
Okay.
Where they hire someone to fire people.
I'll do it.
They don't want to do it.
I'll do it.
But that's Barney's job. And then for a long time, it's the joke that they don't know what he does. And then this is what he does.
Okay.
And he goes, so, Kristen... God, you know you've been doing great work for us, but it's just not meeting the expectations that we have. And it's like, I'm sorry, who are you? It's like, don't worry about who I am. Fortunately, we're going to have to let you go. But I put so much effort into this company, and it's just like, and he has no investment, so it's completely fine to him. He can do that. That's the job that you should have as well. Especially
above a certain point. Like, I want middle management and above.
Yeah.
Because most middle managers... You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. Like, you don't know how they got there. Well, I know how they got there, but that's besides the point. There's this really interesting... Let's get away from gaming for a real... This is a real thing. I was talking about like the survivor bias. Same sort of deal. People who are good at like getting themselves promoted, they play the game and all that stuff. There's this really interesting phenomenon where you get... They call it getting promoted... to 1 or 2 steps just above your competence. So that's why you always find these people are utterly incompetent, but they stay there forever because they can't move any higher, but they can get to 1 or 2 points above where their competence can keep them. Be. Yeah, it's a fascinating and so but those are the people I want to fire. And I'll take a severe pay cut if you let me do it.
Mate, you don't need to pay him a lot. The satisfaction alone is enough to...
It will feed me and all of mine.
Could you imagine if that's all your life needed? And you go from like, you know how you said like you're slightly pessimistic.
Yeah,
like you just become the most positive guy ever because you get all the energy you need.
Like I'm there like skipping and whistling and it's like all sunny days and everywhere else all these people are grayed out. Like, and I'm just like, oh my God, isn't life so great? Just like giving homeless people all my lunch. It's like, you have a great day, Barry. It's like, you too, James. Yeah. That actually does sound like... Seriously, that sounds like the perfect job for me, doesn't it?
It does.
And then, you know what? See, but Barney, the problem with him is he would have just like done the firing thing. I would have worked in all the middle managements. I would have gone around to the team. Like I would have prepped for my meetings the next day and been like, okay, send me your complaints, blah, blah, blah. Any
ammunition.
right. But like ideally things about the person. So like phrases that they use constantly.
Right.
And I would have, you know, it's like...
Work it into
like all the middle management speak like, look, you're not really achieving the standards
vis-a-vis.
Yeah. Vis-a-vis like the synergy in brand A's, you know, like...
And he's just there, he's just like, hold on a second, I've heard this before.
Right, I've heard this spiel. My God, that sounds... How do you become... Is that a real job?
I know the Barney one is a real job. I know it's because afterwards I looked and I was like, you can get paid to fire people? It's more like an agency type thing, but it looks great.
After the podcast...
They probably wouldn't do it for, like you said, for the middle management people. It's probably they hire them to fire all the people like they don't care about and whatnot. They're just like, oh, we'll have fun.
Well, I want to be a senior... agency firing guy.
You want to fire the top level people of like managing directors.
I'm going to become the top 1%. Only managing directors and stuff. After this, I'm not joking. You need to tell me what you found about that.
He's going to quit YouTube to become a full-time firer of this company because it will fuel his life.
I mean, I would never quit YouTube, but it might become a second...
YouTube's now on the side.
Yeah, secondary priority.
Just as well to cap this Cyberpunk talk off, Hunter writes in and he gives his feelings about Hunter 2 Electric Boogaloo, his name is.
Okay.
He writes in to talk about how he feels about this. This CDPR stuff is shit and I used to love them, but honestly this is a bit shady if you ask me. And that genuinely is like pretty much how we feel and how everybody's feeling in the community. They feel pretty bummed out.
It's the sneaky. It feels like we signed a contract where we were told we'd read the whole thing, and they turned out, oh, by the way, you know when you finish your exam and you're done, and you flip it over like
the back page,
but there's like a minute left and you don't have time,
and it's an essay question. Oh God!
Right, exactly. You're like, that was really easy. Oh God, no, half the marks. Right. It kind of feels like one of those things where we were told we knew what we were getting, and then it turns out not only was there a back page we didn't read, but every page had small print that we didn't know about. Yeah, you know, but no, you signed kind of deal because we did that effectively, which was, and CDPR made money off of it, which was we said CDPR has our trust, and they leveraged it for money and investments and loans and all the stuff that the businesses do.
When you say it like that,
right?
It's true
because it's true. Look, and I'm not some super high up fancy suit guy, but I do roughly know how this stuff works. It's more complicated in real life than the way I say it. But the reality is they leveraged our trust and their brand for money to pay for this thing, right? And then under-delivered to everybody. I'm sorry, but get fricked. Yeah. And I really want... They've had one. The problem is it's the big one.
It was very big.
The next game they make needs to bang.
It needs to fly off the shelves.
Well, it won't. It won't. That's the thing. It won't initially, but as long as it bangs, it will later on. They need to understand that. Let's say it's Cyberpunk 2, Cyberpunk like 2087, whatever, right? It needs to really work.
10 years to it, and just somehow that's the second one.
You know, my tabletop game with Rob is 2067.
Okay.
It was kind of a prequel, kind of. It needs to bang. It needs to work. It will be slow, probably for the first quarter. 3 months, people are going to say, like, I'm not really sure. But eventually, someone's going to pick up. Eventually, they're going to go, no, this really is the thing. They're back to, this is what 2077 should have been. They're back to old Cyberpunk. And they can survive. They make anything other than the next best game dead.
It needs to. It's all based, in my opinion, on how they end 2077.
Yeah.
If they, which they're not doing a good job of it at all, and it doesn't seem like they're going to go that way. If they don't make 2077 better, if they don't make 2077 the best thing out of the pocket, out of their own pockets, then there's no reason for anyone to ever trust them. And they might hear about the next game being great, but I know some people, maybe even possibly myself, who would just be like, I might buy the game to give our opinions on it on here, but I won't be like, I'm buying it because I really enjoy the games that CDPR make, because it's really taken all of my trust.
Some people are like, I'm kind of a tough customer. Like games where I'm not sure that I know you're getting, I don't buy them. I wait to either see how you do it and then I borrow it. And if I really love it, I'll buy it myself.
Yeah.
But I'll play the game at no benefit to the dev. In some cases, not always, right? Like Cyberpunk, of course I bought my own one because we were super hyped for it. But The Last of Us 2, when I wasn't sure, I let you play it, decided it was worth giving a shot because I only saw up to the flashback in the museum.
Yeah.
And then I decided, okay, it's worth getting. Right?
Yeah.
But after I'd played the whole thing on your copy, because I still wasn't sure, like there was still room for them to mess it up, and it's still So, but like Ghost of Tsushima, never a question. I was getting that all day long.
It really struck you nicely, didn't it?
Right in my interest zone, So
which is around about the pants region,
right around the crotch region,
That's your interest zone.
So, and look, I've been playing with my sword since the day I found out it was there. So.
my interest zone's around the back. It's in that same area around the back. That's right.
It's but the same height region. They mesh nicely.
Exactly.
Right. The missing piece to the puzzle, right?
Exactly. Your interest zone really docks with my interest zone.
But so that's the thing, is like I will happily buy the game myself.
Yeah.
Unless I'm not too sure. Whereas you're and we're both kind of early adopters. You're way further that way.
Yeah.
Like you have a problem.
I do have a problem.
Mine's like I have an interest. You have an addiction.
I see it as I can have a conversation about gaming regardless if it goes whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
Rarely is there a game that comes out now that's just in the middle. It's either amazing or terrible.
Yeah.
And I find there's a conversation in each one of them, and I want to be in that conversation. Sometimes it's to the detriment of me, like with this Cyberpunk is really bit in the arse. But I am still playing it, and I'm having my own bubble of happiness. It's just it's a shame that I can't have that happiness with everybody.
And in fairness, I don't know, it's the same reason that you managed to do all these streams on ridiculous difficulties. You just don't seem to give up on these things. Yeah. You gave Anthem far more than its fair shake. You really there wasn't much game in it, and you put a lot of time on it, until the point that it nearly bricked your console, and you're like, I can't keep doing this,
Everyone's like, why are you still playing this? I'm like, I'm Iron Man! And why are you still playing? Still, I'm Iron Man! And then eventually I was like, okay, no one's looking.
You really give these things their fair shake, as well as adopting new things and go for new stuff. Like you really try it out for a good period of time, which is, it's a good thing, except for when it bricks your console on that.
Yeah. Do you mind if we move on to our next topic?
Yes, let's keep talking about
Let's
Cyberpunk.
try not to make it 4 hours long on what we do normally. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed.
Good.
Been delayed because nobody wants to play any Hogwarts games. It's been delayed from 2021 to 2022. Yeah. They put out a whole statement basically, and it's just all general like PR nonsense and whatnot.
Of course. These games were never ready.
Do you have a theory of why that is?
I mean, genuinely, probably because the announcement was too early.
Possibly, yeah.
Because what they did, what most likely a lot of these announcements for this year, because look, God of War isn't coming. It's not coming this year. I'm surprised Horizon's coming this year, and we need to see more on it for me to be convinced. But what I think happened was people realized that 2020 was such an enormous year for games. And apart from Cyberpunk, damn, did they frickin' deliver. Like, my God, was that a good year for gaming.
It's going to go down. It's going to be great to look back at it. To be at the end of the PS4 generation, we got all of these great bangers.
A crowning it, despite everything that happened, an absolute crowning year for the PlayStation.
I feel sorry for everyone who wasn't a gamer. They're just like, 2020 was just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no movies to go to. Everyone will be like, what the fuck are you doing? It was great.
Mate, I was gaming.
So what I think happened is a lot of people saw it and went, well, this thing's probably carrying on into next year. We'll announce for next year. And, monetize the attention we get. And then realized, there's no way we're meeting that deadline. We're not doing it.
It's possible that like everyone's been saying that it's like the calamity has affected production levels because everyone has to work from home and stuff like that, and that slows things down a bit.
For things like the consoles, that's true, but it doesn't seem to be true for discs and stuff, like for the games side of it.
But I have one theory.
Yes.
And it might be, I think, more to do with...
It's a shit IP.
What's that?
It's just a shit IP.
Yes,
no one likes Harry Potter.
That's it. No one really likes it. Does anybody like Harry Potter?
I can't think of one human being, anybody that does like Harry Potter, of course, is a subhuman cockroach. Emphasis on the
Harry
cock.
Potter's just emphasis on that, exactly.
I freaking love Harry Potter.
Exactly. I was going to say, out of both of us, you're the big Harry Potter fan.
And the Harry Potter Lego Harry Potter stuff's really good fun as well. I mean, all the Lego games are great.
And what's really funny about this is that I like the world of Harry Potter. I don't like Harry Potter himself and the other dickheads that he's
And with. This is exactly the
and
fix
that's
to
exactly what this is. It's perfect for me.
Yeah.
But I talk shit about it. I think the reason why they delayed this possibly is that to give themselves a bit more time so they can polish and make it perfect from everybody else that's been failing so far, like Cyberpunk. And I think they want to distance themselves away from J.K. Rowling's words about like trans people and stuff like that. I think they got a lot of shit when J.K. Rowling voiced her opinions on like the medium, whatever the hell it was. And they're just, I feel sorry for them because they're just game devs making a game. And then they're just sort of like, but I mean, we're not doing anything. I know some of the money's going to go to her, but we've been working really hard. Please don't, what she said, please.
I think this is a losing strategy.
Yeah.
Because J.K. Rowling is like an alpha Karen.
She is.
You know?
She is very much, yes.
Like she'd be...
The distancing thing is...
She'd be a boss in a game, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe the boss.
The distancing thing works if you knew for sure that she was going to shut her mouth forever.
There's no way.
But all it takes is like, we're announcing this game April 2022, guys, and then on February she comes and says some shit, and then it just destroys everything all over again. So maybe that's not the reason, but I thought that maybe they were like, let's get away and
could
also get some extra time.
It could be. I think there's nothing particularly wrong with saying like, coming out and saying, look, a person created an incredible world and we've taken it and run with it. That doesn't mean their opinions and views represent us as a company. And like, I think Tolkien, there's a lot of people that say like Lord of the Rings and stuff, it's super racist. Yeah. Like the orcs are supposed to be black people. And is it the halflings? Someone is Jewish. You know, like the greedy Jews or whatever. Like, there's a lot of racial undertones, apparently.
And all the people that like the Lord of
the
Rings
racist.
stuff.
That's why they like it. It's for the race
racist.
wars.
Yeah, so a lot of supremacy there.
Yeah, that's why we don't watch the movies.
Exactly, because we're above you guys.
Exactly. God. We're obviously the master race.
We're the master race,
right.
Yeah.
Right, but and so here's the thing: is like, or like, who's the guy that makes all the tentacly things, the old ones?
That's hentai.
What are those things like? The mind flayers.
Yeah.
What is that guy's name? Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. He's the guy. Yeah. That dude's super racist. But in the reality is, he created these like incredible worlds and lore and stuff, right? And was the guy a douchebag? I mean, I don't know, but let's say hypothetically. Fine, he's a douchebag, but what he created was great. And J.K. Rowling probably may well be a douchebag.
Yeah.
But what she created, amazing. And taking that idea and running with it in your own spin with a few things that like Hogwarts, but are any of the characters we know of in there? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be just whatever you...
Yeah, there's no like Albus Dumbledore or any of that stuff in there.
Freaking Christ.
I think that's a good move, by the way. I think meeting like a young Dumbledore is probably a mistake because you're invested in that character, which should be brand new characters, so you can really be free from everything.
He's going to be very upset because he really wants to meet Dumbledore and have a gay romance with him.
Yeah, I know he does. He loves that.
For some reason, he just wants that.
Yeah, more like Dumbledore, more like Dumbledore. I'm sorry, I can do better, but...
I was put on the spot. Don't judge me.
But my point is, like, have that ready for when Alpha Karen J.K. Rowling says something you either disagree with or that lights the internet on fire, where you can say, look, we've taken this incredible idea and we're doing our own spin. About the only thing you'll recognize is Hogwarts and I forget the town that's nearby. Actually, I should know. I'm actually
Diagon Alley?
Diagon Alley's in like London. Hogsmeade.
That's it? Okay.
I think it's Hogsmeade. Like, yeah. And you should have things like they put the Whomping Willow, whatever it is. They put some stuff that you recognize in there, but all the characters are different. And then you can say, look, she doesn't represent us or our game. She created this incredible world. We took it, we ran with it. And
that
so
would win them a lot of hearts and minds.
Right.
It would win them a a lot of favors with all the fans.
And then they don't have to keep pushing it back every year because she's going to say something someone doesn't like.
She will. She can't shut
I mean,
mouth.
regardless of whether it was whatever it was, she's a very high profile person on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyone who's high profile anywhere is going to say something some small, loud group of people freaking hate.
Exactly. When I say something, there's always somebody that hates what I say.
Right. I mean,
and
me.
I'm a huge, exactly. And I'm a huge person on Twitter. Exactly. I will say, probably the only reason why they can't do that is because she is the owner of the IP. There's probably some legal jargon somewhere in the contract that says you just can't badmouth her. You can't badmouth anything to do with the Harry Potter franchise or anything like that.
I bet they can just come out and say, this is a brand new IP that's set in a world that we all love. Done. Someone says something stupid. This is a brand new thing set in a world that we all love, and that is all we have to say on this game.
What
Boom.
they need to do is to do a leak a hit piece, a bit like in a Man of Steel, where like Lois Lane drops that article. They need to drop that to someone. Give it to freaking Jason Schreier if you want to, where someone's like, internally we bloody hate
what they do.
J.K. Rowling, and we think
they ask if anyone wants to leave, and then they pay them to take the fall
handsomely.
Yeah, they say, look, you want to leave? Great, we're going to pay you to do an interview about how, like, tell them we made you crunch and stuff, so it seems credible, and then just badmouth the shit about Jake.
Yeah,
like, right, and then we can come out and throw you under the bus, but that's part of the severance pay.
Exactly. Your severance pay just happens to be $5 million.
Right, exactly.
Wow, oh my God, you were like a QA tester.
Also, an NDA about what the conditions of your severance pay were. You know?
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely how it should go. But that's what my feelings were, although there's no way to prove that.
I think a lot of things like the game getting delayed, I really don't think it's one person. Like, yeah, it's J.K. Rowling. It's like the person. I don't think it's enough.
I think they took that as an opportunity just so they can make the game as good as it can be as well.
After seeing Cyberpunk coming out too early, they were like, this game's going to be spot on.
It's like, you guys said we were like on the line, right? We may or may not hit the deadline. Fuck it. Add another year on it. Add another year, guys.
Here's the thing. What happened to, you remember like PS1 and PS2, maybe prior to the Xbox One, Xbox 2, all those things? Do you remember when your consoles weren't connected to the internet, so the games just had to be done?
This is my big thing. Nowadays, it's just accepted that everything is shipped broken, and then the day one patch fixes it, or the next patch fixes it after that. We've gone to such a... I don't want to say too much bad stuff about them because at the end of the day, I don't know what it's like to be a dev.
Of course.
And games have gotten so huge right now, and they've given us such great games already.
They're not the same animal. Like GoldenEye is not the same as like God of War.
Exactly. You know? But games used to ship working. And I want you to at least ship a game that's working.
Yeah.
And then if some little minor bug pops up, then you can patch that in.
Yeah.
This whole thing about day zero patch or day one patches is going to solve it. Or the day one patch is just a week out, guys. Don't worry about it. Just wait a week.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
No,
it needs to go away.
It needs to be like, look, especially with the size of these games, and I don't mean like how many gigabytes there are. I mean like how big they are, how much content you get. It's understandable that some stuff's not going to work. I get it. But like 90% of the game should be bug proof.
Yeah.
You know, it should be a functioning game. And like, yeah, it turns out that there's this one spot that you can get through a wall. Like, oops, sorry guys, thanks for letting us know. We'll fix that. Right? Like, I totally agree. Why? The problem is that, especially with the size of the games, they would take a lot longer to make and QA and all that stuff. Yeah. But I would rather have a game that works when I'm done with it, you know?
And it looks better on your image as well when it works.
Also, what about people that don't have enough internet speed to do this stuff?
Yeah.
What about guys? Dano, one of our like very first huge super bro, like, and I mean before we had the Patreon.
Huge as in size or huge as in...
I mean, I presume he's got a massive schlong. Just like, I don't know how he fits it in his trousers. Got to be tailored. Yeah. It's got a holster, basically.
A holster in the...
it's a literal cock holster.
There you
go. Shit, what were we talking about?
You talking about internet speeds and you said Dan...
Recently he his internet went out. His power went out. And so he was on like his data and didn't have very much signal where he was. There are people that live on just their mobile data and they don't have hardwired internet. And even if they do, it's like approximate to dial-up speeds. Right? So multiplayer may be doable, probably fairly unstable.
You wouldn't want to.
Right, exactly. Those guys don't want to be doing 80 gigabyte patches.
Yeah.
Right? It's not okay.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Like it's not okay, right? Because even like not all your customer base can run, like not everything runs at the perfect specs for a PC.
Yeah.
That's why you have the other specs. That's why games aren't built to run on the best stuff that's out there, and the price tag's not a question.
Yeah.
It's like minimum recommended, what's the other, optimum or whatever it is. Whatever, like the best, right? But like, to be honest, you don't even need to print that. Like, we know what the best specs are. Yeah. It's the best stuff that's out, you know. Yeah. Anyway, that really winds me up.
It winds me up too. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, it's been bugging me forever.
Like games should work.
Yeah, it's not so much the arsehole when you say it like that as well.
Yeah,
right?
Games should work. Or like Pokemon games. Up until recently, you get the cartridge or the disc, whatever. They either work or they don't. And guess what? They all worked.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that things are bigger, and like I get it. Needs to be factored into the development time, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Like, otherwise, it's not a game.
That's management. You need to work that in there. The next topic, if you don't mind me moving on, bro.
Let's do it, man.
Trying to get things moving quickly so we can get through, so we don't make an hour-long podcast. There's a couple more, but the other ones are all short. Sony at CES 2021, it's like a big trade show where they talk about the latest technologies. You see all the 70-inch TVs that no one's ever going to buy. That's like a million K.
I forget that you're explaining to the audience and not me. I was like, why are you freaking... Like, I know, bruv. I know.
Just for you, because I know you're a moron. No, because some people don't know. They had a little show reel of games and stuff like that come into PlayStation, and a lot of them had dates next to them. So here's just a couple of things. This was a leaked one, because after they posted that video, they quickly removed it and then uploaded a new video which had just the names of the games and no release dates next to them.
And that, I think, was on purpose.
I think so too. But there's something interesting. So let me read the games out. The games are Pragmata, which is 2023, it says is coming out. Tokyo Ghostwire said October 2021. Project Athia, January 2022. Solar Ash, June 2021. Kenna Bridge of Spirits, March 2021. Stray, that game with the cat, October 2021. Little Devil Inside, July 2021. That's what they said right there. And also, I think they were saying a Final Fantasy game as well on there. Anyway, that quickly got edited. There was no mention of Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
Or God of War.
Yes.
And that was what I was trying to bring us to before, where you were saying how God of War is just not coming out this year.
No way.
And previously, I've been confident that it is going to come.
You've tried to talk both of us into believing it. For the record, first of all, we don't know that those dates are accurate, although the Kenna one is supposed to be March. You make good arguments for both Horizon and God of War coming this year. The big thing for me is those are immediately like obvious competitors, mainly for like the top slot, and you don't ideally want to fight your own guys, right? Yeah. God of War is best game ever, but also best game of 2018 for a reason, because it was the only major exclusive. And when I mean major, I mean like, goddamn, was that game good?
Exclusive wise, it was the Bogs Dogs.
And Horizon, I think that was... What else came out in 2017?
2017. Let
me Google it.
Mine speaks down to mine. I know 2016 was Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I think it was one. So, like, I mean, Zelda probably was
Breath
in
of the
there.
Wild, but that's
Destiny
Nintendo.
2, Assassin's Creed... Is that Origin? I don't know. Origins, yeah. So, like, it was the biggest game, at least from the list I just quickly Googled. It was by far the biggest game that came out that year, right? That's what you want to do. So you do Horizon for hypothetically 21, and then God of War for 22, and you nab each year's things for the accolades for the next Sony exclusive to maintain that image that, while also true, that Sony is where you get the banging exclusives.
Yeah.
So you don't typically want to have those two going head to head. While it sounds like it would work, like, oh my God, what's the best? It's both these two Sony exclusives. Like, you don't want one taking awards away from the other.
Yeah, it worked actually this year with, last year. Keep forgetting we're in January now.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima came out a month before The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Granted, that was probably because we didn't know what Ghost of Tsushima was and people were unsure. But I'm surprised it did so well, by the way.
It's so good.
And apparently... Maybe, possibly, we don't know officially yet because we don't know the physical sales, but digitally, Ghost of Tsushima sold better than Last of Us.
It was so freaking good. It was so freaking good.
Last of Us Part 2 had obviously all that controversy prior to it, thinking like it's always going to be a letdown. Turned out not to be. That was something separate.
I mean, some people, a lot of people that played it don't agree with us.
There are people, yeah.
That's okay.
There's still people to this day that moan about that. I'm like, it's gone and moved on.
Yeah.
Find another thing now. Come on, let's argue about Cyberpunk. Let's argue about Cyberpunk.
I mean, in one aspect, it proves how big of a deal that game was and how big a deal the relationship between Joel and Ellie is that people are still complaining about, still talking about. The way that like not many movies have the longevity that like original Star Wars did or Indiana Jones. Like those have stuck with everybody knows those movies. Everybody watches them. They're still good. They totally stand up. Yeah. Right. The whole I am your father, like Luke, I'm your father.
Spoilers.
Whoa. Like
fucking
those movies, but especially Star Wars, like affected the way we speak. Like there are expressions in constant use in the Western world because of those movies. John Wick doesn't do that. What's a huge movie? Inception didn't do that. You know, like incredible other really great movies. They have not affected popular culture in that way. So I think that's actually a testament to at least The Last of Us 1 and how good that relationship was, that it's maintained that much significance and people are still talking about it when there's other games to be playing and looking forward to. Regardless of how you feel about the game, I don't see these games coming, is what I'm saying, and not this year. And look, you've made good arguments.
I started to sour a little bit, like drop down a bit. I'm like, oh, maybe it's not
like sour. You mean like,
as in like I've started to release
the hype
my grip
for it?
on it. Okay, like I'm like, okay, maybe it's not coming. Maybe it's.
The problem is every time you talk about it, when you're like earlier when you were trying to hype me up that it was coming, I buy what you're selling. Yeah. Right, like God of War. It took 5 years to develop from scratch. Yeah. Well, they have all the assets. Porting's not that difficult. They have all the mocap, at least like for the facial stuff. They probably will do more, but they wouldn't have to. Like a lot
3 years, come on.
Yeah, it's and Horizon, that's 4.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, they could be, but I just don't see it. We would have seen more.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. Just that
from either of them.
Teaser.
What for either of them.
We did see a little bit of like scenic shots at least from Horizon, but with God of War we've seen nothing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to mention there. That we haven't got a date for that still, so it just puts more question marks on the table. The next thing, Resident Evil Village, the showcase. Yes, that right there is happening literally tonight.
What time?
At 10 o'clock.
Oh,
it's really late.
I can't. I can't make it.
It's happening tonight. And if we... we'll know about it tonight because there'll be a watch-along for that and whatnot. But...
You're insane.
I am insane.
Because it's going to have all the multi-directional sound, that stuff. And that's how you're going to play it.
For that, because it's having all of the next-gen features in it and it's going to be great and I want to stream it and everything like that. But the thing is, we can't talk about it properly. And this podcast is going to come out on Saturday. Yeah. And people are going to hear it and they're going to be like, they don't know, they haven't got anything to talk about. So let's do this both ways. Let's do both ways. So let's just record one way and we'll edit it afterwards. That showcase was fantastic.
I was really impressed.
I was impressed by the big guy that they showed.
Yeah, the focus.
That was big.
I'm surprised they have so much like ready
in it. It's such little time. We barely heard anything, and they just came out of nowhere.
I really appreciate them like not showing us just a CG trailer. That we have like gameplay and like we really know like. Not exactly the story, but we know what the game's going to look like, how it feels, how it plays. Yeah, really,
and we know it's going to be proper, like authentic to the brand,
true to the fans' like imagination.
Exactly,
imagination.
What they expect.
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
And let's do the
pause. Just keep it.
No, they really flopped the hub flop on this one. They really got it wrong right there. I can't believe they did.
I don't think they showed enough.
They didn't. We didn't see the big thing that we expected.
Yeah, the reveal.
The big thing.
And the pacing was off.
All off. And I feel like it's not true to the vision of the RE fans.
And actually, if you look at it, there wasn't that much gameplay. Like it was mostly CG cuts leading into the gameplay, like that before you pick up the character. So, I mean, like I get what they're doing, but it's disappointing. Like at this stage, we would have expected to see more.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially because we thought, okay, you've come out with the announcement, you've come out with this. Surely we would have seen.
And you can't showcase the sound design in a teaser, right, or a little trailer, but you can showcase like the gameplay and mechanics, and we didn't see enough.
Nothing of that.
So no investment.
Terrible. Sorry about that, guys. I guess we'll find out next year when this game, if it ever comes out.
Right.
Comes out.
I think we know. can you edit it so that's in like whichever one?
Yeah,
you want to cut out the.
I'll wait for
sure.
the showcase to happen. Sick.
Nice.
The next topic is a sad one for me. Killzone.
Yeah.
Killzone's website has officially been sunsetted.
Oh.
Probably meaning that they're not going to make another Killzone game ever again.
I personally don't have any real investment with Killzone. Yeah.
My
That's
violin.
the world's smallest violin. I'm kind of saddened by that.
It's upsetting.
Despite it being a game I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
It's attached to my like vision of what PlayStation is.
That's what I was gonna say. It's almost like a mascot.
Yes,
glowing,
the shooter mascot. Oh, the Hellghast mask.
The Hellghast mask with the glowing orange eyes. Unmistakably Killzone.
Yeah.
If you ever saw a teaser trailer, it's like, PlayStation Studios. What is this? And you saw glowing orange eyes. Killzone straight away.
Yeah.
And we're never gonna get that again.
Yeah. I have to say, personally, as one of those people that all the complaints about like the way it moves.
Yeah, God.
Like I'm that guy that felt that, but it was a game where I was never like, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just not going to play it because I don't vibe with it. But
this is not my thing. Okay, bye.
But I'm glad it was a thing, and too many of those are going like by the wayside.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, I don't know the story.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't really sit through the whole game.
It's essentially a bit like Wolfenstein, a bit like...
So basically you're killing Nazis.
It's space Nazis, essentially. That's what they are.
How do you ever stop making those games?
I don't understand.
That is the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like,
do you want to kill Nazis? Yes, I do.
All I'm saying is there's a reason Nazi zombies, like, you never get tired of it. You never get tired of killing Nazis, and then you never get tired of killing zombies. Well, how can we make this better? Nazi zombies.
Nazi zombies.
Like, it's the ultimate guilt-free kill spree,
Yes. Oh man. Anyway, I really loved Killzone. Maybe there's always a slim chance that they're sunsetting the website because they're pivoting to a different thing. Maybe. Or they're moving it to a different place.
Doubt, but maybe.
Yes, it's very much the LA Noire X to doubt. Yes.
Yeah.
It's that right there. But yeah, that's really upsetting.
I mean, like you said, just because the website's gone, or like even if the IP got sold or the studio shut down, it doesn't mean that you're never getting another Killzone. I'm looking at the mask down, like the Hellghast mask down there. So, especially since you mentioned it, I'm like looking at the orange eyes.
Yeah.
And I would love to see like. See, I don't have an investment in the game. I was about to say I'd love to see one with like smoother motions and 60 FPS and all that stuff.
It would work great.
But this is the thing. Hopefully it would. But like James and I are on the same page when it comes to Halo. No sprint.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I don't know enough. I don't remember anything about Killzone, but my idea of what would make a game good may not fit what makes Killzone good. You know?
I was gonna say like the whole like I'm the indestructible, powerful Spartan.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily apply to the character that you play in Killzone.
Yeah.
It applies to the enemies that you find and whatnot. So yeah, I get what you mean, but. And it probably wouldn't fit with your idea of what you're saying. I want to know, by the way, anyone who's watching, if any of you guys are a fan of Killzone, because I've spoken about it a couple of times. I haven't heard anyone say anything. I could just be the only guy on this show.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to wave the flag and, be the guy that's Killzone, give me a K, give me an I, give me a L.
Don't feel bad about that. I made you sit through how many hours of anime and haven't converted you yet?
That's true. But at least you had fans in the audience.
That's
and I was
true,
like, okay, you guys have clearly got a club here.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the corner eating chips and I'm like,
well, why don't you make a new podcast, like just solo? It's you call it the Chill Zone.
The Chill
Zone. You just chill on the sofa talking about how good Killzone is.
Do you know what our channels need? Another podcast.
That's what we need.
That's what we need,
right, buddy.
All right,
boys, get in the Discord if you want Chill Zone.
Let us know.
Just only DM Ed, not me. I don't care.
And two small things. Pokemon Snap has got a release date. They've announced it, showed it off.
That makes me happy, and I didn't think it would, but it does.
It's so like innocent fun. It's great.
That is the real chill zone, isn't it? Like, exactly. How do you get more chill than Pokemon Snap?
Pokemon Snap. Do you know what's really funny? So April 30th, by the way, it's coming out.
Sick.
I tried to pitch this to somebody. I was like, my girlfriend. She was like, she knows Pokemon. She's played Pokemon. She's like, but what is Pokemon Snap? I've never heard of it. I was like, so Pokemon is really cool because you're like a kid going on an adventure where you catch Pokemon, you train them, you evolve them, you fight your way through people, through gyms to go to the Elite Four. None of that. None of that. You just
imagine
go around
you're one of those
pictures
guys
of them.
that goes to Africa taking pictures of stuff. You're that guy, except you're a 10-year-old.
And she was like, wait, what? So why is this Pokemon? I was like, I can't answer that question, but it's great.
Yeah, words are not the format for this. The format for this is new game. Here, take the controller.
Done. And the other thing I was going to say was Super Mario World in Japan that got announced and shown off.
Yeah.
Looks awesome, obviously far away from us.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. Are you telling me the Japanese are culturally appropriating an Italian plumber? That will not stand.
We here at Combroplations do not accept
this kind of... Is that cultural appropriation? Is that the one?
It's called.
What did they say about Ghost of Tsushima?
They liked it. They loved it.
No, not the Japanese. Of course they did. I'm talking about like the crazies. They said it was cultural appropriation. They said, right? Or is it racist?
I think
is
no,
that
cultural
racist?
appropriation. I think it is.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Culturally appropriating an Italian plumber, we do not stand for it.
No, it will not stand. It is current year. Whatever year you're listening in,
this is.
It's that year, and this kind of what keyword? Bigotry.
I don't know the words. These crazy people come up with words every day.
Yeah.
We don't know them.
This is what's like cricket. There you go.
Do you know
They're
what?
so crazy. My brain just shorted out.
I just can't do it. And one other type of person I don't support.
Diogo?
Diogo for sure.
Of course. Yeah.
Guy. But also Dutch people who appropriate Italian plumbers. There's one guy out there that keeps messaging me, and God damn it, I'm freaking hate him. Mario 5-3 something or another.
I'm sure the numbers aren't important to anybody. Yeah.
No one's important. It doesn't associate with anything that I am interested in. Anyway, that guy, frick him. Yeah, so Super Mario World in Japan was supposed to be opening up in February, but has been delayed indefinitely because of the calamity. Weep, sad. It would have been nice because it did look cool, but I mean, it's the times, isn't it?
My dream,
yeah,
is like, actually, it's kind of like a dream / nightmare, which is that like we hit like 10 million subs or whatever.
True.
The nightmare being that we now don't have like personal relationships with every single subscriber.
Yes.
That's the night, which is exactly our goal, was to have the community. But the problem with growth is that then we lose the personal touch.
How do you have personal?
How do we bounce it?
10 million people.
Right, exactly. But like 10 million subs, and forget the money from like a personal standpoint. Like I'm not buying a Lamborghini or anything. But then like where we're like, cool, we're gonna go to like PAX and stuff in America, and we're gonna go to like Super Mario World in Japan, and we'll do like the vlogs and stuff. If you're a viewer from Japan, which at 10 million subs you'd assume you have a couple, right? Like the channel can take us to Japan to do a Mario thing at like Nintendo Land or whatever the frick. Like that's like I said, half dream, half nightmare. Like we lose one of the things that makes our channel and our Discord and stuff so great.
Yeah.
But also I would love to go to Japan and not have to pay out my own pocket.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Especially me. I don't know if you know, but I'm actually kind of like a fan of like Japanese culture and history, their artistic expression. I do love free money.
You do love that too. Yeah. But yes, you do love Japan, the artistic expression. Yes.
We'll do, if we ever get to 10 million subs, we do the Japan tour.
Yeah.
We're going to go, you know how when people come to Scotland, they do like breweries and they go to whiskey places?
Yeah.
We'll do that, but for like hentai studios.
Yes! Now we're talking. We're talking, guys.
That was right.
And those super bros, you can all join us. I'm just saying right now, it's like Christian and Sabine sitting right next to each other. Christian's like, yeah! And Sabine's like, wait, hold on.
Actually...
Or maybe she's like, hey, I want to go. And then Christian's like, wait, hold on. I didn't know this about you.
Apparently, like one of the biggest consumers of hentai is ladies. They love it. And apparently it's super popular with porn stars. Apparently, like that's some of the thing that most porn stars dig hentai.
They put all this stuff on us as if we're the ones that like it. It's
weird,
them.
Women are disgusting.
Women are disgusting.
I mean, obviously not you, Sabine.
Not you, no.
And Katie and stuff. You're all special.
You're all special. You're in the group. You're in the bubble.
Yeah.
Protective bubble. That's all the topics we have for today. So we can skip over now to some questions that we have.
I thought you were about to say we can skip over the questions and
skip over the fuck them. We've got like we're under 2 hours here, so we're doing quite good. If we can get through these quite quickly, I feel
is
like
that accounting for the whole frick up at the beginning?
I think so.
For like the half an hour of content that we had to cut, plus the 20 minutes at the beginning of just us chatting shit.
I think so.
Cool.
Juice Source asked in one of his questions, he goes, as for questions, what is your most anticipated unannounced game that you are most likely to be, that you think are most likely to be announced anytime soon?
Go on, take the ball, bro. Run with it.
Sorry?
Take the ball, bro. Run with it. What
I
you
thought
got?
you said you got to go to the loo. I was like, okay.
I do actually. I'm busting for a bit.
You're busting for a loo. But you're going to be a professional.
I really want to talk about gaming.
So I really, and I wrote this down in my notes after the Killzone thing, please, for the love of God, bring this back and don't kill it. Don't kill it like Killzone. Please give me a Resistance game.
Yes.
Please.
Oh.
And they've been teasing as well, like the Resistance, Resistance Twitter account has been posting stuff about it, and I'm like, let this be real. Yeah. Let this be real. Jesus, step Jesus, help me. Please let this be real. I would love to play Resistance again. It was such a good franchise. It obviously had its like niche market and whatnot. Yeah. But I remember playing that so vividly. It was all just like aliens and gore and stuff like that. Please bring it back. It'd be great. The Chimera. I want to kill them. Thank you. That's my one.
I have two.
Go ahead.
The first one, well, in
Halo
reverse order.
The next Halo.
Yeah, definitely. Halo Infinite. It's gone. I got it. Totally got it back.
Thank God.
Set the least of the two.
Yeah.
An actual Court of Owls Batman game.
Ooh,
that would be good.
But don't worry, Gotham Knights is going to totally do that.
Actually, I'm changing it. I have 3.
Oh, okay, here we go.
The next one that I actually would be excited for, I think we need like an LA Noire style Martian Manhunter, where you're like the detective, and like you realize part of the mystery is that you realize you're the Martian Manhunter by playing through the game, because you don't know you're playing a detective, and you start getting into the superhero DC stuff.
Could you imagine? The thing is, you wouldn't be able to market a game like that.
It would be difficult. You would kind of know, but like suspension of disbelief. Going into the game, you don't know you're playing Martian Manhunter. You know it's a game about Martian Manhunter.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It could never happen.
It'd be impossible to market.
Amazing. Yeah. You just like everyone, 5 people play it, whatever it might be, like the percentage wise, 5% of gamers play it, and then suddenly people are just like, guys,
it would be an Among Us.
You missed it. This thing just turns into. Oh my God, that'd be so good.
That would be good. And my number one, which I think a lot of people are probably expecting, FF9 remake.
There we go.
Final Fantasy 9. Keep it. I don't think it needs any changing, personally. And I can understand making edits to Final Fantasy 7, although I think that's overall probably a mistake, because it was a hit for a reason. But FF9 is a masterpiece. And I would love to see that in today's graphics, with the option to have voice acting or not. Right? I will happily take today's graphics with it looking the way FF7 Remake does with speech bubbles. I'll take it. And that's the way I play it the first time. And then I would go through and probably see what the voice actors are like. And they'll probably be brilliant. Because, let's be honest, playing Final Fantasy 9 2 more times, it's not going to put a dent in what I've already played it. Like, I freaking love that game. But I don't, like you say, about like, would you, like, trying to talk you into play Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to go back and play the old ones, but when what's it called?
The Legendary
Edition.
Yeah.
I was going to say Legacy Edition.
Yeah, it's
Legendary, yeah. Because it's new, and it's new to you, you'd be willing to play it. Exactly. Same kind of thing with me, Final Fantasy 9. I haven't gone back and played it in a while, because like there's so much, Ghost of Tsushima, Doom Eternal.
We've been spoiled by the newest
new stuff,
games and whatnot.
But if they remake it, it's new now, and I got an excuse to play it on my PS5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would love to see that. That would be my number one.
That's good. Summer Dylan also writes into our Discord server and he says, hey, Eddie and Sheps, hope you guys are having a sick day. I know I am, because it's my birthday. Well, it's your birthday as well.
Gaming.
Congratulations for surviving another year.
What I'm going to say is Dylan had his birthday and then all of 2020 happened.
I blame him. I blame him. Here's my question for the podcast. Which other games do you think will be delayed this year? God of War for sure is not coming out this year. Hogwarts Legacy got delayed, so the only thing left now is a couple of indie games like Kenna, which I'm really excited about. Far Cry 6, which seems intriguing to me. I think that got apparently is not apparently coming out this year, but no exact release date. That got delayed. They didn't give a release date. They just indefinitely, they said it's been delayed. Horizon Forbidden West, which I'm somewhat not certain if it'll be delayed or not. The guys working on it have been really quiet, so who knows?
Yep.
I'm actually suspicious about that as well now, just because of the way that everything's going.
Why haven't we seen more about it?
That's it, man.
This is the press cycle for it, right? It should come out somewhere in September, November.
Yeah.
Because that's when typically the bangers come out. Not always, like Doom was early.
Yeah.
But I just pulled up a list because I forgot a lot of these games. I think Ratchet and Clank's definitely coming, but I could see Far Cry maybe getting delayed. I don't know why it would, but I could see it.
Yeah, because
also
like
we haven't
that's not gonna
seen
come
very
out
much.
this year.
Yeah, I agree.
We see they've got a hype going with the Don Corleone Esposito. What's his name?
Giancarlo
Esposito.
That's
it. They got a hype going with that, and they were like, "Be excited for it." But by the way, don't be excited because it's not coming anytime
I could
soon.
see Halo Infinite again, and I'm not to pick on them
again,
but I could see them getting delayed. Yeah.
Ooh,
I don't see them being ready.
Cuts.
I don't see them being ready.
I think it's gonna be good. Yeah.
What else is coming out this year? We got, bear with me, I think Kenna, it's supposed to be in March, right?
That's what that leaked trailer said and whatnot.
I think
maybe that one
I think it could.
could get delayed or could come out.
Could come out.
Okay.
I think it could come out. I get the impression that it's not a huge game. It's not like a 50-hour monster, right? I would guess somewhere in the like 15 to 20 hours. And it's sort like for the same reason I think Ratchet and Clank's coming out. Those games, I love them, but they're not masterpiece. It's not God of War, right? Is what I mean. I'm trying to say that as polite as possible. I don't mean that as an insult.
Thing about Ratchet and Clank, that's also gone quiet as well.
Yes,
and that's supposed to be what we thought was supposed to be like early 2021, and we still haven't seen like another trailer from it.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
It's a tough one.
There's no release date.
There are other things we haven't heard about though. Like I'm just looking, and it's reminded me. Scorn and Medium.
Yes. Is Medium? I think Medium's supposed to come out. Is it come out now? Or?
I don't know. And don't get me wrong. Like in fairness, we are Sony ponies to some extent. I feel like they've earned that, but I keep my ear to the ground more for Sony than I do for Microsoft releases.
28th of January, so it's supposed to be coming out soon.
Any day now. Okay, fine. Then, with it being that close, it probably will. And I hope it's a banger.
27th of January. Dude, sorry, guys. We're delaying this game.
I would love to see like YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff taken over by how good Medium is. Yeah. I hope that happens. But Scorn's supposed to be coming this year. We haven't seen any gameplay. We saw that one cool like trailery bit, but we haven't seen much of it. So I don't know. And that game has me interested. Not enough to buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
But it has me interested.
I'd be very interested to see, like, read the reviews on it, find out what's it all about, maybe see some YouTube videos.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of me, I just saw, like, one of the things I'm really awaiting this year is the Lego Star Wars. But has the Lego game ever got delayed? They have those nailed down. Do those have huge day one patches? I don't think they do they? They just come out working.
Exactly.
Sorry to yell into the mic, guys.
I think that game got one delay. And it's in June now. Like it was supposed to be early this year or maybe last year, last year. And now it's been pushed to June. And I was like, the only thing about that is that now it's getting so far away from the end of the Star Wars saga.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, we're going to love it. It's probably going to be great. But it's just that we've gone out of Star Wars now. We're starting the MCU cycle now. Just to cap this all off, we've got one more question from our boy Real Cinema. He wrote in on our Patreons, just like you guys can if you're a patron. He goes and he says, "Hey lads, I was wondering what your thoughts are on COD Cold War bricking consoles. Apparently they've been bricking consoles with the latest update. Personally, I think that Activision should be getting way more heat than CDPR does because at least Cyberpunk won't brick your console."
Are we talking about PS5s here?
Yes.
So I did download it. Deleting that. I'll download it again. I'm not even having it on my console then. Because I downloaded it so that we could jam it and the boys could jam it.
Together, innit?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, so next gen is bricking next gen consoles.
Yeah.
Activision better be fronting the cost for that.
Fucking they better be doing that, and also maybe they should fucking rethink how their patches work. Maybe they should come up with a new system and not take up all of the bloody hard drive space and destroy the console when you're doing it. Terrible stuff right there. Activision are definitely up there, in my opinion, as like the EAs and whatnot. So
for sure, just toxic.
EA, Activision, Bethesda,
suits run by suits.
Terrible.
They end up coming out with some good stuff. EA and Activision, like Battlefront 2 was great. I'm sure,
Ubisoft, by the way,
and Ubisoft, I'm sure Warzone is good. I actually haven't played a single game of that, but I'm sure it's good. I see it all over Twitch and YouTube and stuff. But like bricking brand new consoles, that is not acceptable.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, it's not like their job is developing code. Oh, wait, never mind.
Wait.
Right, like that's... that's bad. That's real bad.
I never know how to gauge COD. I feel like every year the conversation gets further and further away from COD, but then every year we see the sales numbers and it's
They
very
keep putting them up.
healthy and it's
Yeah.
amazing and they always get the most sales. And this year was proof as well. They were the top above everything else.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they're fucking getting the money, so I guess it's working for them. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've really nailed down like what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I wonder, like, I think Cold War has taken a leaf out of Apex's book. So from what I've seen, I haven't played, like I said, I haven't played it, but I played Apex. One of the things I love about Apex is the pace of the game.
Yeah.
I'm not super into battle royale, so I don't know very well, but it seems like what they've done is taken a lot of the pace from Apex, except for not so much of the sliding and stuff like that, and then paced the actual battle royale really well, like better than Fortnite, better than Apex. And also the size of the groups is different. So like Apex is 3, I think that's too few. COD's 4, so you can still get your mates in, but also the size of the people in the map. So ideally you got 150 people in.
Yeah.
And when you're killed, you're not specifically taken out. They got that gulag feature.
Gulag thing, yeah.
And you can be brought back and all that stuff. So it still keeps you in the game. Whereas like with Fortnite, like first of all, early Fortnite and stuff, when you were out, you were out. And then they brought in the respawn thing.
Yeah.
But even then, that specifically relies on your friends bringing you back and stuff.
Yeah.
So having that, like, okay, well, I did die, but it's not 100% down to my team. And, you know, so I don't know how the gulag, I presume you like the first time you go gulag? Or?
I think one time when you get killed, you get sent to the gulag, and then it's like 2 people get pitted against each other. And if that person
whichever
kills the
one
other
wins
person,
gets to come back.
Yeah. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Not an expert, but I think I've played enough to know.
That is probably one of the things that made Call of Duty so good. And one of the reasons that while people loved Search and Destroy, for the stakes, Search and Destroy has never been the biggest thing. It's because if you die, you get to come back in the other game modes, right? You get to respawn, and they managed to add in that kind of feature to a battle royale where respawning, it's not respawning, it's like you're 100% dependent on your team, and it gives you the chance to respawn independent of your team. And I think so I think they've got the pacing down, but I've never actually played it. But the idea of it destroying consoles, brand new consoles that people have had to wait for months to get,
and
potentially spend like fucking price gouging prices on.
There's so many stories. I keep seeing them all the time of scalpers. There's this one scalping bot service called Carnage Bot and whatnot, and it boasts every day when there's like a new stock thing, and it goes, "Yep, just managed to get 2,000 units from so and so website and whatnot. Our bots are working well. It's getting easier. In fact, I'm just like,
come to us and pay even more money. Like this is not. These are the people that like
scum of the earth."
Anonymous and QAnon, and I think those are only 2. Are they hacker groups? I think they're hacker groups.
I don't know. I think
hacker groups should be targeting these douchebags.
They should.
To be altruistic and destroy their bots and cost the money, not to take the bot and do the same thing. Yeah, I really hate that. But I think this year's set to be a good year for gaming.
Hopefully, yeah.
Like with Kenna and Ratchet and Clank, and
God
what
of
else
War.
is supposed to come around in March?
God of War.
Ain't coming, man. Like there's a lot of good games. I think the likelihood is there won't be a standout banger. Like there probably won't be a God of War unless God of War comes out or Horizon comes out. I don't expect there'll be like an absolute banger this year.
Yeah,
but I expect it'll be an okay year for sure.
I think it'll be an okay year. I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to
we've been
Star
really
Wars
spoiled
Lego.
though. You know, we've been really spoiled. Like 18 through to 2018 through to 2020.
We're due a dry spell.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. We need a breather.
Yeah,
you know, like having all those incredible titles.
We need that breather like the MCU did, where it just went like after Endgame. It was like, all right, relax.
Right, and now they're pumping out the
Disney Plus stuff and whatnot. Anyway, that is all of the stuff we had to talk about here on the True Gamer podcast. How do you feel that episode went? Do you feel that was a good one?
Yeah,
come back?
It was good. It's been good fun. Tomorrow, for the people listening on YouTube, we've got the Man of Steel movie club. So tune into that. If you're new around here, subscribe frick. How did we not get that in early on? We spoke so much about Patreon and never once reminded people to subscribe.
We told people to subscribe to this channel, just not the older channel. So that'll be in the description if you want to check that out. We're going to be talking about Man of Steel in preparation for the Zack Snyder's Justice League that's coming out in March.
Did we decide if that's going to be a movie club or a streamcast?
Because it's a streaming service thing, right?
Yeah.
God,
we'll have to figure it out.
Figure that out. Anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting the True Gamer podcast. And thank you all for supporting this channel, which is growing every day. It's all been amazing. And hopefully we'll get past that 1K soon, and we can be in the big leagues. With that's right. We're on the road to monetization for this channel. For this channel, yeah. So YouTube finally promotes our stuff rather than just leaving us to the side. Yeah. Thank you all for being here, guys. Thank you, bro, for being here with me. We'll catch you all next time.
Yeah, do we have an outro?
We don't have an outro.
Game is out.
No, that's better. That's good. I like that.
Congratulations has logged off.
Have logged off. There you go.
We should make that as the thing. We should be like, cool, see you later. And then just it comes up as like a ba-ding. Conversations has logged off. Yeah.
Do the the Terminator when he gets his power down.
Yeah. Or like a marathon. Wah, wah, wah. Right.
All right. Bye.